Hello, Danny speaking.
Hey, this is Anna. I was wondering if I could get a ride to the Polito Courthouse from Infinity Apartments.
Yeah, is it just you?
Yeah, just me.
No worries. I can be there. Do you want to just ping me exactly where you are so I can be there I'll be there in a second. I know
Sure.
you. Just which side you're on. I'll be there in a sec. Need taxi?
Yep, that's me.
Apologies. An officer wanted some food.
No worries.
Where can I take you to?
Polito Courthouse? Haven't been there yet myself. I was gonna go to the court
Polito
case that was on.
Courthouse.
Yeah. Feeling kind of
Courthouse in
dumb.
Polito?
Yeah, apparently.
I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, I'm feeling kind of dumb. I was going to go to this court case that's on today, and then I set my alarm wrong, so I basically woke up an hour late. So now I'm running late for it. Oh well, at least I'm just there to watch it. I don't have to, like, testify or anything.
True. I didn't even know there was a courthouse in Polito. That's crazy.
Yeah, me neither. So
You learn
someone
something new
probably
every
told
day, I
me at
guess.
some point.
Surely it'll just be a big building that says courthouse here, right? Oh, wow. I had a headache and a half right there. Jeez.
See if I can see it on the map. I don't know where it would be, to be honest.
Polito's small. We'll find it.
Yeah. It's probably going to be people milling around outside it, I assume.
There'll be cars parked, right? Like, there'll see probably be police cars. How's the day going?
Pretty much just woke up, so it's...
Oh,
I basically woke up, realized I was running late, and that's how it's going so far. How's your day going?
Pretty good, actually. Can't complain.
Do you have much planned today? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
You know, we're looking for them.
Sorry, you're looking for what?
Managers for the vanilla unicorn.
Ah, right.
Hello, Danny speaking. My colleague should be getting there in a second. Let me just call them to make sure that they're heading back there. One second, just to make a quick call. Can you deal with a customer at White Rabbit while I just take this person up to Polito? Thank you so much. Appreciate you. So what do you get up to in the city usually?
Well, I did come here to work with DOC, and I worked with them for a few weeks, and then it got shut down, so now I'm working at Ellie's Barbecue with the food truck.
Oh, near Hazish?
Yeah. So I've only done one shift there so far, but it paid pretty well, to be honest, so yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem
I like
too
Lucas
bad.
and Cherry over there.
Yeah, no, they're great. So you work at the Vanilla Unicorn as well, then?
I work at the Vanilla Unicorn, I work at Limitless, I work at the Pit Stop, I work at Bloomin' Harvest,
Wow.
I work I work a lot of places.
Yeah, I'm starting to think it pays to, well, it's probably a good idea to have multiple jobs just in case something gets shut down or goes wrong with another job.
Exactly. Let's have a look around here, see what we can see. Just look out for police cars. Nothing around here looks like a courthouse, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's the fire station. Pretty sure this is the old police station. There's a courthouse here somewhere?
Maybe it's a church or something? That's some churchy looking building there.
Okay, well, there's the ring. Look at the church. If there is a courthouse in a church, that's very apropos. Oh, the church behind us. I don't know if there's anyone here.
Really confusing. And yeah, I might just double check something on my...
Could be this.
Oh, wait, there's people in there. That's it. Yeah, that looks
like
like
it. Looks like a court.
Okay, nice.
That looks like it. We found it. So right or wrong, you can choose to pay a tip, whatever you want, or you can roll a 500-sided dice, whatever you prefer.
I'll just put something in a glove box just for convenience.
Thank you so much.
For you.
No worries at all. We appreciate you.
All right, thanks heaps. See ya.
No worries.
I do wish, can we just push once more to dismiss that motion to push the death penalty on my client?
That is a sentencing consideration. It is not a, because someone asked for it, it's going to be granted.
All right, understood.
Let's not just go that far. All right, if there are no more motions that I have to deal with, and some things I'm going to push down the road to another time, I'm going to bring court into session. Hello, everybody. My name is Justice Parker Huang. The matter before us is a charge of murder, one of the most serious matters in our justice system, and one that we don't address lightly. It demands careful attention, impartial judgment, and a strict adherence to the rule of law. As presiding justice, my role is to oversee the proceedings and ensure that they are conducted fairly, respectfully, and in accordance with legal standards. To all the counselors present, professionalism is expected at all times. Present your case clearly and follow the rules of procedure. Treat the court and one another with respect. These proceedings matter. This process matters. To the public, please keep your chatter to the minimum. If you wish to speak to each other, please move to the back of the room. That said, I hope that this is going to be a smooth trial for all. If there's anyone that needs to leave early, please let the court know at your earliest convenience. So that's through an attorney on either side.
Also, chat is on the way.
Okay. You might want to let the judge know.
No, don't worry. Make sure you whisper now, okay?
I know, I'm really worried.
Miss Smith, please stand if you're capable of doing so, which I'm
Fine.
sure. Miss Smith, you are being charged with murder. This is the only charge on the docket. However, I'm going to ask you to plea anyway in front of this court.
I, Sunflower Smith, plead not guilty.
Okay. Smith, you are pled not guilty on the record. Prosecution, whenever you wish, you may begin your opening statements.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state is pursuing justice today not only for the victim of this crime, but also for the victims of whose justice was robbed from them through Ms. Smith's actions on June 5th. The state will show the court today how Ms. Smith deliberately took Fÿrr Phosphøphylite's life and the grotesque manner in which she did it. The court will hear testimony that will paint a vivid picture of a disturbed individual who has habitually enacted violence upon others and continues to subvert the proper functioning of law and order, and how this murder is simply another incident in a long list that continues to grow. The state firmly believes that Ms. Smith has been and will continue to be a mortal threat to the citizens of the state of San Andreas, and there is no other reasonable course but to sentence her to death for her crimes. Thank you.
Counselor Delicatessen, your opening statement.
All right. Your Honor, people of the court, we are here today to discuss the incident that occurred on June 5th within the walls of Bolingbrook Penitentiary, where the defendant, Sunflower Smith, was left alone with known serial killer and, person who has tortured animals, Fÿrr Phosphøphylite, who's awaiting her execution. We are not trying to dispute what transpired that day, but want to show the reasoning and actions leading up to the incident to prove why it does not pertain to the charge of murder, but instead closer to manslaughter. Sunflower Smith was just an unfortunate victim of being in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong person, probably the most wrong person anyone can be left in jail with, especially someone, with her fragile mental capacity. And this is what gave Fÿrr Phosphøphylite the opportunity she needed in order to take one final action on her last day on Earth by manipulating one final victim so she could go out on her own terms.
Thank you, counselors. State, we proceed with your first witness.
Oh, sorry, I'll speak up. Thank you, Your Honor. The state will call Olive Caulfield to the stand.
Schofield, please step forward. We have a bailiff today. Anyone that wishes to act as a bailiff?
Hi.
I believe Inga Weber had texted me at some point.
Hello.
Weber.
You got this, Olive.
I'm not familiar with this courtroom. Where do the
Stand to the right of the platform, next to the portrait of Justice Devereaux, please.
right
there. Stand next to the portrait, please.
Wow, look at her go.
I can't hear her.
Wherever you feel comfortable is fine. As long as everyone can hear you, please take a microphone, lapel mic, or whatever you need to let the courtroom understand what you're saying.
You want me to swear her in now?
Give her a moment.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, can everyone in the courtroom understand Ms. Caulfield? No issues?
No.
Very hard to hear her.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Can hear her okay, Your Honor.
Hi.
You may swear in.
Oh, okay. Place your left hand in the air. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you coffee?
Yes.
And she still is a bit quiet,
Couldn't
but I'm
hear
not
her.
sure. Yeah.
Ms. Caulfield, are you able to speak up a little bit more?
I'll try. I don't want to yell or nothing. Hold on 1 minute.
You can yell, just don't scream.
What? Am I screaming, sir?
No, I wouldn't say you're
How's
screaming.
that? How's that? Is that better?
Is that better for both?
You sound great
both
from the
sides?
back.
Okay, wonderful,
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Speak up, Olive.
Yeah, just swear me in. Did you swear me in?
You've been sworn in.
Okay, I mean, just
Well, if you're not really sure, you might as well do it again.
Yeah, all right. Put your left hand in the air again. Do you swear again to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you, Harb?
sure.
Yes.
Prosecution may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Caulfield, could you please say your name and rank for the record today?
I'm Olive Caulfield, corrections officer, cadet. My code name is C40.
Thank you.
Okay.
And according
she's a
to
fucking
the incident report, you were one of the 2 first responders to the scene in which Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite lost her life. Could you describe what you saw when you came upon the scene?
Well, we saw Miss Sunflower Smith standing over a body. At first, we didn't know who it was until we approached closer, and um, senior correction officer Tim Wright identified the victim as Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite. I can't say her name, sorry. And Sunflower Smith was crouching over her, doing something.
Were you able to ascertain what she was doing?
At the time, I know Tim just wanted to get her off. He told me to handcuff Miss Smith and bring her to the other side of the cafeteria. There was a lot of blood at the scene. So to get her, she wouldn't leave, so I tased her and cuffed her and brought her to the other side of the room. Senior correction officer Tim Wright, sorry, kind of I'm very uncomfortable. Sorry, I'm anxious.
Take your time.
You're fine. I will stop you there because you did answer the question though.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You're fine.
Okay.
So once you got Ms. Smith off of Ms. Phosphøphylite, were you able to ascertain Ms. Phosphophyllite's condition?
Like I said, I was taking Sunflower Smith to the other side of the cafeteria. There was a lot of blood. Tim and I were trying to stop the bleeding, but he told me to get Sunflower. None of us knew what was going on because there was so much blood, a lot of blood. So we weren't sure who was bleeding and who wasn't.
Understood. And to reiterate, you said that Ms. Smith was initially resisting the commands to get away from Ms.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't, but okay.
Was Ms. Phosphophyllite taking any defensive action or being aggressive?
No, she was not.
She was dead on the floor. Fuck my life.
Once you had the 2 separated, you said you were
You get annoyed.
managing Ms. Smith's custody at that time. Did Ms. Smith make any statements towards you or anything of that nature?
Yes, ma'am, she did.
And what did she say?
Sorry, can you repeat the last question? I couldn't hear it.
Did she make any statements to the officer?
And what was the answer?
I didn't give it yet, ma'am.
Okay, sorry about that.
She said to me, I'm sorry. She told me to do it. I'm sorry. She told me to do it. I had to calm Miss Smith down. She kept on continuing saying it. I was trying to get her to calm down by doing some, what do you call it? Grounding exercises like counting the corners. I asked her to use her senses. She was very distraught and very upset. I don't believe she was calmed down, but when we got everything straightened out, I was told to take her to solitary.
Okay. And was she distraught throughout the entire incident?
Yes, ma'am, she was.
Okay. Including while she was actively harming the Miss Phosphophyllite?
I
Objection.
will ask you, huh?
How would she know this if they came after the fact?
Oh my god,
That is something that you can determine through your own questioning. A valid objection.
I hate this.
Do you want me to continue?
Oh, that's a
Or did
Give me
her
a moment,
objection
okay?
or-
Sunflower, it's hard to
So
concentrate.
there is a potential valid objection
Okay,
there.
I'll
That,
be
I
quiet.
have
however,
my-
that wording
my
is not.
My hearing aids up to max, so any little thing you
Quiet.
say is like a shout in my head.
Speculation, Your Honor.
The question is, was she distraught through the entire incident, including when she was actively harming Miss Phosphophyllite?
Lead-in. That's a lead-in.
She had already testified whether or not she was, or she believed that she was distraught. Is it, I'm assuming that the state's intent is to ask here what Miss Colefield's opinion of the matter is, not for her to speculate whether or not she was actually.
That is the
Correct.
state's intention. Yeah, I can reword if you would like that to be more explicit.
I can already see the intent. I'm not going to ask to reword. I'm not going to try to waste people's time here, because we're going to end up in a loop of, you just need to clarify the question, which I already understand, and I'm the one who needs to understand. But I understand the objection. I will note the objection. I'm going to allow her to continue. Is that all right, defense?
That is fine.
Okay. Ms. Cofield, you may continue and answer the question.
When we came in, there was no, she was over Fÿrr Phosphøphylite. I couldn't tell what she was doing, but she didn't seem
Can't hear her.
upset only when I tased her.
Okay. All right. That is all the questions I have for Ms. Cofield.
Defense.
All right. During the day of the incident, did you talk to Sunflower before?
No, I did not.
And were you and Tim Wright aware at that time that Fÿrr was being executed that day?
I was not, because I was in the FTO session.
And were you aware if at any time did Tim Wright take Fÿrr aside to have a talk with her?
He fucking did many times. Damn it.
No, I'm not.
She was right there. She
And
was
just to
with him.
clarify, you were the first person to arrive on scene along with Tim Wright when you responded to the injured person call that was inside boiling detention?
I had to shadow him, ma'am, because I am a cadet.
And did Sunflower Smith seem upset after being detained?
Yes.
And at any point after the incident, did you cry with Sunflower Smith?
I sympathize. I did not cry with her.
Bullshit.
And did
Cry me a
Sunflower
river.
seem remorseful for what had happened?
I cannot speculate that, but yes, I do think that maybe she was remorseful.
And with what Sunflower told you, do you believe that with what she said that she was defending herself in that incident?
No, she did not
Objection
say that.
relevance,
She did not
and
say
also
that.
calls for a legal conclusion.
Okay. And after this incident occurred, have you been in contact with Sunflower Smith since then?
Sunflower Smith has tried to contact me and has
She's
talked
been
to me.
Okay, I'm sorry. I objected. Was that not
I'm
heard?
sorry. I'm sorry.
And motion to strike that last question as well.
I'm going to strike it purely because I didn't actually get the question. So
That's all good.
if you
Co-counselor,
like
do
to
you
move
have any
on,
more questions?
And specifically, I was objecting to the question asking for her belief whether she defended herself or not on relevancy and calling for a legal conclusion.
And also, that question was not answered. I only heard the self-defense thing after. Like
Okay.
when she talked to me
Ms. Schofield, not your
like
time
the
to
other
speak.
day. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. Defense rests with questioning.
that question is not going to be on the record,
Okay,
understand.
sorry, sir.
just so everyone is aware.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'll play
Redirect?
this. Okay, sorry.
No redirect based on those questions.
No redirect? Okay. Defense, are you placing Ms. Schofield on recall?
No.
Okay, then Ms. Schofield, thank you for your time. You may leave the courtroom if you wish. Please return the microphone if you ended up using it.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'll do that now. Oh, sorry.
That's not what the microphone is for. Counselor Irons, your next witness.
Yes, if she is not currently preoccupied, the state will call
Hey,
Alice Meyer to the stand.
Did you get recalled or no? No? Huh?
Detective Meyer, please step forward.
Shut up, Alice. Come on, Olive, let's go.
You shut up, Rickon.
You know what time it is.
Wow.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Please place your left hand in the air. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you, sophomore?
Yeah.
Red State, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Could you please start with your name and rank, Detective?
Detective or Deputy Alice Meyer.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so the report stated that you were the arresting officer, but you were not initially the first on scene. At what point did you enter the scene?
Shortly after Sergeant Chad Hallowser asked me to go help them in the cafeteria.
Okay, and what was the state of affairs in the room at that time?
When I arrived, Sunflower was already in cuffs and being moved to the other side. I began to attend to Fÿrr, and that's when we decided to move her to the infirmary.
Okay. Was Ms. Phosphøphÿllite conscious at that time or had presence of mind?
No.
Was she still alive at that point?
I believe there was a small pulse. I am trying to remember.
trying to remember or can't remember?
I'm trying, but at this time, I guess I'll say can't recall if she had a pulse or not at that moment.
Okay. Let's see. You said you proceeded with the victim to the infirmary there. What occurred in the infirmary? What was the treatment like?
The prison doctor there, I don't remember their name. It wasn't Nancy, it was someone else. Began treating.
And let's see. Do you recall what treatment was performed?
I believe they gave Fÿrr some IVs, treated the neck wound, tried to get them stable.
Okay. But she succumbed in the room, correct?
Yes.
And you were listed as processing the evidence on scene. Could you tell the court what you found in the immediate area where you found Fÿrr?
There was a small shovel next to Fÿrr's body in a cafeteria, which was placed into a evidence bag and ran in the PD crime lab.
And what did you find?
There were fingerprints on the handle coming back to Sunflower Smith and Fÿrr, and on the metal part of the shovel, all the blood came back to Fÿrr.
Okay. And being the arresting officer, did Ms. Smith provide any statements to you during processing?
I was not the one who processed. I was pretty much the one who wrote out the incident and everything.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was Detective Wilson. My apologies. A moment to confer, Your Honor. No further questions, Your Honor.
Defend. Your witness.
Oh, good. One moment. Let me just look over my questions, as some of them already been answered. Can you recall from your report what Sunflower Smith said as she was being moved from the scene?
I believe she said that Fÿrr made me do this, but it could be a moment of panic as well.
So just to clarify, you were the first one on scene to collect the evidence of the shovel, correct? Or the trowel?
I was not the first one seen, but I was the one who collected the trowel, yes.
And just to clarify, both Sunflower and Fÿrr's fingerprints were found on said trowel.
On the handle, yes.
All right. Your Honor, is there any way we could highlight the image of the shovel results in report 55575?
Or give me a moment. repeat that report number one more time?
Should be 55575.
I think this is a nested report.
It'll be a
believe-
PD crime lab report.
It is attached to 55522, Your Honor.
Got it.
It'll be the 55575 underneath the other report.
The image that you're looking for.
Yes, Your Honor. Just to prove that both the victim and the defendant's fingerprints were found on the trowel, specifically on the handle.
That evidence was cut. That's not the whole evidence. Shit.
And Alice Meyer, were you aware of the Twinsta post that Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite posted earlier the same day?
Nope, I was not aware as I was dealing with another situation.
It's all good. Let me speak to my co-counsel real quick. That'll be all, Your Honor.
Redirect?
No redirect based on those questions.
And so are you placing Ms. Meyer on recall?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you for your time, Deputy Detective Meyer. You may leave the courtroom if you wish. I would prefer that there is little extra security just in case. In that case, state.
Okay, I guess so.
The state will call Veronica Wilson to the stand.
I'm just gonna stand.
Okay. Place your left hand in the air. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you, Warjack?
I do.
State your witness.
Thank you. Detective, could you please provide your name and rank for the court?
My name is Veronica Wilson. I am a lieutenant and chief detective, Los Angeles Sheriff Department.
Thank you. And according to the statement, you were the arresting warrant serving officer, arresting/warrant serving officer for Ms. Smith, correct?
Yes.
You never arrested me.
See, during processing for the warrant, did Fÿrr make any statements to you?
Not here. Sunflower.
I'm sorry, Ms. Smith, yes.
Yes, just clarify which time, because she was kind of told about the warrant at one point. She was still on Article 12 hold, and then she was officially served with it later when she was released from the hold. I'm just asking which time you want me to speak about.
Only after actually arresting her.
All right. Well, during that arrest, she insisted her name was Rosa. She was not Sunflower. She was Rosa. She had no idea who anybody was.
Objection.
Didn't know who Sunflower was. Didn't know what Siberian
Hold on.
Husky was.
Objection.
What's the objection?
Didn't hear it. Sorry.
Is it facts, not evidence? I don't see that in any report about this particular point.
State rebuttal.
We are entering it into evidence now through testimony.
All right, I withdraw.
I believe it is in our report.
Is it?
If you let me look at my MDW, I can point in that direction.
The objection is withdrawn unless you wish to put it back up again. Move on. Counselor.
If she was to look up the report, I would like to see that particular instance.
I'll allow it this time if you'd like to go back to your report and point it out.
Is 55754 in evidence? It may not be, because this is something we were going to press charges on whoever attacked her. I put it in the report when she was attacked, the day she was apprehended.
I don't believe it's added unless someone wants to double check. There's just so many unrelated reports attached, so it's hard to go through all of them, Your Honor.
I'm going to object to professionalism on that statement.
I also did testify about it at our bail hearing.
Not of an objection, by the way.
Regardless, that's not on the record. As for professionalism, let's keep it tame, please. Both sides.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, hi, Tommy.
Objection, regardless of withdrawn or not, overruled as this is being entered during evidence. Sorry, testimony. I am currently baking, so just give me a moment if I mess up a few words here and there. Probably shouldn't have worn a suit today. State, you may continue.
Bullshit.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You want me to continue answering the
And
last question?
yes, if you remember where you left off, I believe it was claiming that her name was Rosa during processing.
Yeah, she claimed her name was Rosa. Had no idea who anybody else was. And I talked to her lawyer, who was Jehoshaphat Walken at that time. He was present, about next steps for her, whether she would go on hold until trial or whether they wanted to try for bail. Once it was explained to her that if she did not try to get bail, she would be held until trial. Suddenly she became Sunflower Smith again and became extremely articulate, more so than I had ever seen her before.
Bullshit.
She did not
Thank
say anything
you.
about the murder.
Bullshit.
And so you had previous experience with Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Is that only within the statements that have been included in the incident reports that have been included as a part of those functions, or is this separate from those?
My interactions with her prior to the murder or since then?
Predating the murder, your involvement in the murder investigation.
I believe my previous interactions are in those reports. Had to deal with she tried breaking out of prison multiple times, and I dealt with her during at least one of those. Another one when she was attacked in the prison. I believe those are all on evidence, as well as my statements in those reports.
I see. And you mentioned that in those previous interactions, she was less coherent, to paraphrase, than after she was notified that the bail hearing would lead to temporary freedom.
Yes, in all prior instances, she had always declared herself to be a Siberian husky, a 10 million-year-old Siberian husky named Sunflower. Or, sorry, I can't remember if she said she was Sunflower, but if you asked her name, she'd say Sunflower Smith, and she'd say, I'm a Siberian husky.
I am.
I see.
I am a Siberian husky.
All right. And you note that you at least delayed an interrogation for Ms. Smith due to the Article 12 hold at the time. Did you ever revisit the idea of an interrogation or pursue that later?
No, the one time I would have interrogated her, she claimed she was Rosa and didn't know anything about Sunflower Smith or about anything that happened at the prison. And then it was her bail
Until
hearing.
the bail
We
hearing.
tend not- yeah, until the bail. That was up to the bail hearing. So obviously, once they're charged and get representation, we don't normally interrogate them after that.
I see.
Stupid ass.
All right. And a moment to confer, Your Honor.
Such bullshit. He's a liar, a scumbag, and not worth a job. She's doing nothing but lying. I am a Siberian husky. I don't know what the fuck she's on about. Crazy ass bitch. Oh my god.
Okay, that is all the questions for this witness from the state at this time.
All right, defense or witness.
All right. Were you at Bolingbrook Penitentiary the day of the incident?
Yes, I was.
Did you have a conversation with the officers before the incident occurred?
I was interrogating somebody else at the prison. I wasn't involved in any of the murder situation.
I understand, but did you have a talk with any of the officers before the incident occurred?
About what? Obviously, we talked about what I was interrogating somebody about.
Did the correction officers tell you about Fÿrr's execution?
Objection scope.
Allow a rebuttal here.
Trying to lead up to the fact to make it known in court that that day was the day that Fÿrr was being executed.
So
Sorry about that.
none of the questions asked allude to any of this on direct.
Mm-hmm.
You can probably get there. You've kind of almost gotten there already with your previous questions. However, you can also place the witness on recall if you wish to ask this question on direct. I'm going to sustain that objection.
That's fine. And did you have previous interactions with Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite?
Yes.
And with
Objection
your
relevance.
relevance is that it is the victim of the case at hand?
Stupid ass.
Can you repeat the question for me, please?
Said, did you have previous interactions with the victim? Oh, I didn't say victim, but with Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite.
Question was relevance. Well, at the end of the day, this trial is about Ms. Phosphophylites being a victim in this matter. I can see the relevance potentially, but it's really small. I'll allow the question, but get to the point that you're trying to make.
Just one
Thank you.
final question, but I know it'll probably be objected to. But do you believe Fÿrr Phosphøphylite is a manipulative person based on your interactions with her?
I actually won't object to that.
Witness, you may answer it.
Detective?
I didn't hear you roll on the objection.
She
did
moved on
say?
to another question. So the question that was
Oh, I thought-
posed was, do you believe Fÿrr was a manipulative person based on her interactions with you? The other question was skipped over, didn't need to rule on.
Yes, Fÿrr is manipulative. However, as there was no set date for her execution, she did not know that she was possibly being executed that day, so I don't think she would have manipulated someone to kill her to avoid the execution, as she didn't know it was going to happen.
I'm going to motion to strike everything after she answered the question of yes,
as
she
well?
does believe.
Oh, persecution.
Since both sides agree to strike that, I will strike it and just leave the record as yes.
And then let me confer with my co-counsel.
Sure.
All right, we're done for now, but we would like to recall her for later.
I will ask you that after
It's
if there's any redirect or recross. State? Redirect. based on those
No
feedback?
redirect on those. Yeah,
Perfect.
think
In that case, you've already stated that you wish to place her on recall. Detective Wilson, you were not to leave the courtroom until you are recalled as a witness for the defense.
Okay.
You may step down. Okay. I believe this is the final witness for the state. Is that correct?
it is.
You may call your final witness then.
The state will call Mercy Schilling to the stand.
Ugh, I'm gonna throw up. Hate the bitch. Corrupt as fuck.
All right. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you flee?
I do.
We're gonna lose all of our cookies. State, you may proceed.
Boo.
Thank you, Your Honor. Dr. Schilling, could you please give the court your name and occupation?
Yes, my name is Dr. Mercy Schilling. I am the Chief of Psychiatry for SUMA.
Perfect. And how long have you been chief of psychiatry at SAMA?
I have been Chief of Psychiatry since, I believe, at the end of November. So we are going
She
on
killed
7
2
months now.
people.
See,
I did kill 2
and-
people, and I was absolved. Smile.
Oh my God. Freaking me out.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
What is your experience before that as a doctor?
Absolutely. So I've been a psychiatrist in my standing as medical as well as a neurologist.
The state would now like to establish Mercy Schilling as an expert witness.
Any concerns with that defense?
I already brought that up
I have
beforehand,
a
but you
report
dismissed
against
it.
her for corruption.
Not to this specific point, as an expert witness.
No.
Okay. Dr. Mercy Schilling is a chief of psychiatry at SAMA. SAMA is the licensing body and body that controls all medical within the state. Therefore, she is by default an expert witness in matters of psychology, neurology, or anything medicine. Granted, she is an expert witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Dr. Schilling, have you read over the report regarding the Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite DOA, number 55514?
Are you talking specifically about the autopsy report?
Yes.
Yes.
Could you expound on the cause of death for the patient?
Yes. The cause of death would be due to basically insanguination, severe blood loss due to an injury impacted upon the neck.
I see. And in the statement, said it was consistent with a dull blade. Would the force necessary to create the wound, as it was just described, would that be possible to be self-inflicted with a utensil like that?
It could be possible, well, quite hard possible.
I see.
According as far as adrenaline, there are, factors that go into exactly what can inflict one's pain.
And there were irregularities noted. Could you please talk about those or summarize those as you interpreted them?
Yeah, absolutely. Just one moment, please. So if we start off first with the mark itself, the actual impact, as far as no serration and direction, you do have a downward force motion. And so with that, typically, if one is impacting from their stuff, you're seeing more force from side to side as opposed to down and to side. That would suggest from a forensic standpoint that was likely inflicted upon by another person.
Very good. And specifically, it was notated that there were deep bite marks. Do you know if there was flesh missing? Or whether the flesh seemed to be still connected?
Defects. So whenever you have a soft tissue defect, it would suggest that a portion of tissue had been removed. Any injury, you're going to have necrotic and damaged tissue. You can sort of see a timeline and understanding of impact and depth because of tissue damage. And with this one, there was remarkable tissue defects that showed that there was some missing.
I see. Thank you. Okay, and moving on from the victim, we have reports and evidence regarding the mental state of Ms. Smith. Are you familiar with the initial evaluation done and the notes from the Surgeon General later on?
Which report are you speaking about? Are you speaking about her initial psychoanalysis by Dr. Blackthorne?
Yes, that would be the initial one. The second one is the medical record regarding the left hand and amputation and the notes from the Surgeon General on that record.
Yes, I am familiar.
This is bullshit.
And what do you concur with the evaluation that was provided initially?
I do not.
I see. Could you explain why?
bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to break down just rudimentarily how you would come about a schizophrenia diagnosis. The first is, and this is with any psychological diagnosis that goes to violent tendencies, such as schizophrenia or even a psychosis, you have to first rule out neurosis. So neurologically, you would complete MRIs, EEGs, you would also do blood panels. You want to first rule out that there is any
She's seen me
physical aspect
twice,
that
and
is
she's
causing
assuming
somebody
everything.
to lash out or react in the way that they are. There is also, when dealing with schizophrenia, a specific test
Bullshit.
called the DSM-5. These
Oh,
are
yeah.
specific triggers that you have to see over an elongated period of time. This usually
Oh my God.
stems to be 3 to 6 months at minimum before coming up with an actual diagnosis of schizophrenia.
I see. So to summarize, would it be correct to say that the evaluation had not taken the time that it necessarily needed?
Bullshit.
There was not the correct testing done to rule out any
my ass.
neurosis or neuropathy that could have been contributed to the issue, nor was there any sustained period of observation that could actually lend to a reliable diagnosis of
There
schizophrenia.
was.
I see. Thank you.
Bitch.
Mhm.
And later on, the Surgeon General commented to the effect that the patient was being deceptive in
Bullshit.
her statement regarding her symptoms. Do you concur with that evaluation?
Bullshit.
What I concur with is that these had not been properly diagnosed, nor was there any length of time or actually thorough treatment plan in place to where they could have been exhibited in a very productive as well as accurate manner.
Bullshit.
Understood.
Pumpkin.
And
scoot
did
over.
you personally evaluate Ms. Smith?
No.
I have
You
not
never
personally
did.
evaluated with her. I have met with her at her own request, as well as with a lawyer's request whenever she was in prison.
Fuck her.
I see.
Go up, motherfucker.
All right, and I believe that is all the questions I have at this time. Thank you, Dr. Schilling.
Absolutely.
Hey, defense or witness.
And no questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Okay, in that case, do you wish to place Dr. Schilling on recall?
No.
All right, thank you for your time, Dr. Schilling. You may step down. You may leave the courtroom if you wish. Your time is very appreciated. Okay. Gonna try to attempt to pull in any surprise witnesses, are you? Not that I would allow it, but
No, Your Honor.
okay. I will give you time to highlight your evidence and anything else you wish to highlight within your closing statement.
Well, what about
you, Your
my
Honor. Will do.
witnesses?
The state does rest at this time.
Okay.
Yo, this guy crazy.
I was giving you time. I will give you the time to call your witness's defense. That was
Just
not
making sure.
me closing out this case yet.
You about to give me a heart attack.
No, that was not what was happening.
I need food. Wait, I have
Now that defense the prosecution has rested, defense, you may continue calling your witnesses now. Or proceed,
I
sorry.
have food. Don't worry, I have food. I have mac and cheese.
Yes, we would like to call Chad Hauser to the stand as a witness.
Mr. Hauser, please step forward.
W. Hauser.
Are you ready?
Speak up.
Yeah.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you, Legion?
No.
I do.
Yeah.
All right, may I proceed, Your Honor?
You may proceed.
All right, Chad Hauser for the court. Can you state your name and occupation and rank in
Mercy,
the
no.
DOC at the time of the incident?
Yep. Name is Chad Hauser, Sergeant in
I'll
the
get the
Department of
goddamn spray
Corrections
bottle.
at Bolingbrook State Penitentiary.
And may I request people up front, if they wish to whisper, to go so in the back? Thank you.
You want to dip from this? I'm bored now.
And where were you at Bolingbrook
you're done.
Penitentiary at the day of the incident?
At the exact moment, I was speaking to Veronica Wilson in solitary.
And do you recall what you were talking about with Veronica Wilson?
Yeah, we were trying to organize the potential upcoming execution for Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite.
And did you have any knowledge of that execution being planned for that same day?
We were trying to attempt to schedule it for later that day, yes.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my god.
And then when did you arrive on the scene when the incident occurred?
Approximately 15, 20 seconds after the initial two COs, Tim Wright and Olive Coalfield, arrived.
And were you aware of the Twinsta post that Fÿrr posted earlier that day?
At that time, I don't believe I was.
Were you aware of it after the fact?
Potentially well after, when looking through the reports for this case. Just for clarification, which tweet are you referring to?
Well, there's two of them. There's one that she posted with Sunflower Smith stating that she was her friend. And there's another of her trying to bait anyone to go into the prison to harm her.
State is going to object to facts not in evidence.
It is in the subpoena report for Fÿrr Phosphøphylite's phone records.
Oh, apologies. I see those here.
Yeah, can I also have
withdrawn.
those images posted as well? So were you aware of both of those Twinsta posts?
Help me. I'm gonna crash out.
At the time of the incident, no.
But you were aware of it after the fact?
Correct.
And can you collaborate if the one posted of her wanting to be harmed was the same day that this incident occurred?
Hold on real quick. I can either post the image or take notes. I can't do both at the same time.
Okay,
I don't
I'm sorry.
beforehand.
Yeah, it's report 55766. And if you want to specifically do the one of her baiting people, it will be the image previous Twinsta posts. Which, ba-ba-ba.
There you go. The correct image.
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Schotthauser, would you say you spent enough time with Fÿrr Phosphøphylite to know what kind of person she is?
In a roundabout way, I would say so, yes.
Do you believe Fear would have tried to manipulate anyone so she could get them to harm her inside the prison based on her Twinsta post?
Objection, speculation.
It's a fucking question. Stupid ass.
This is what
Rebuttal?
players do.
It's all good. I sustain
I'm
or
gonna die
retract.
in here.
Okay.
And Chad Hauser, do you know if Fear was aware that she was being planned to be executed on that day?
Objection, speculation, and again.
Told her. Tim literally told her in front of me. Woman.
I don't need a rebuttal on that one. The question was posed, do you know if? The question of, does Chad know? Not, do you, speculating whether or not she actually knew or not. It's if he knew that she knew. I want to overrule that objection. You may ask.
Thank you.
To the best of my knowledge, she would have had no opportunity to know. The discussions were kept very close to heart to only the parties involved in the actual process of planning the execution.
Pull me up there right now.
And did Sunflower consider Fear her friend?
Objection, speculation.
Did Sunflower ever tell you that she considered Fear her friend and a mother figure to her?
Objection, withdrawn with the new phrasing.
Yes, Sunflower did express to me that Fÿrr was a mother figure as well as a friend to her.
And were you on scene when Sunflower was being detained?
I arrived just after the other two COs were able to get her off of Fÿrr.
And can you recall during that time was Sunflower crying?
Yes, she was pretty inconsolable and was not taking it well.
And did Sunflower tell you anything or say anything concerning Fÿrr implicating that she was acting in self-defense?
After the fact, I spoke to Sunflower to try and calm her down, and during that talk I had with her, Sunflower expressed to me that Fÿrr told Sunflower to hurt her because it would make Fÿrr happy.
So just to clarify, did Sunflower ever tell you that Fÿrr was threatening her life?
I was never told that, no.
I told you twice. Twice.
It's all good. And in your personal experience with Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite, would you consider her a manipulative person?
Extremely.
And would you feel like
Still much love to him though.
would Fÿrr manipulate someone, even someone she considered a friend, to try to make her end her life to avoid her execution?
In my opinion, I believe Fÿrr would manipulate anyone and everyone to get whatever she so wanted, regardless of who they are.
We're going to motion to strike that one as just wild speculation.
Is it a little late to object to that, Your Honor?
I mean, the
question was
the
already
response
answered.
is the response is objectionable as well.
Oh my god.
Oh, shut the fuck up already. Oh
He
my
has
God.
just speculated in his answer.
Knock it off.
Your Honor?
I don't want to die.
Yeah, let's hear a rebuttal.
Their job, okay? Let your job
Just
fight
wanted
for your-
to paint a picture of what type of person Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite was, especially someone who was a correctional officer and not only that, a sergeant. So we'd have, the most experience and time with Fear to properly evaluate that, especially considering she is a serial killer and has tortured and manipulated people before.
So this question posed is asking a personal opinion of Mr. Hauser here, whether he believes it or not to be true. Not necessarily objectionable. A little riding the line of does it matter at the end of the day? But it's, to me, perfectly fine for him to answer that question. Overrule that one.
Thank you, Your Honor. Let me just confer with my co-counsel real quick. All right. No other questions, Your Honor? From defense?
Okay, state, your chance to cross. I really want to take off this suit because it's extremely hot right now. You may cross the witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right. Officer Hauser, let's see here, where to begin? Okay. You were asked regarding if you believed that Ms. Phosphøphylite was a manipulative person. Do you believe that of Ms. Smith?
Oh my god.
I didn't have nearly as much time with Sunflower as Fÿrr. But in the time I did spend with Sunflower, I do believe she has the potential to be manipulative.
Motherfucker.
Could you provide an example of that type of behavior that you've witnessed?
Motherfucker.
I'm trying to recall a specific event right now. It's been a hot minute. I'll just go with at this point. It's been quite a while. I can't recall a specific event for that.
Understood. Is the incident in question today the only incident that you've been involved with Ms. Smith and at the prison as part of your official duties?
Negative.
What other types of incidents have occurred in just a general sense? You don't need all the specifics.
There were multiple instances of other inmates and COs being more or less bitten by Sunflower.
That's not bad.
I see. Has she ever tried to escape from prison?
Objection as relevance?
Rebuttal?
Establishing manipulative behavior, attempting to escape prison.
How is
would be
escaping
manipulative.
prison manipulative?
You get
I'm
it,
not
Barry.
seeing the direct link between how this is manipulative, so I'm going to sustain that objection. You can likely get there by asking a couple other questions.
Understood, Your Honor.
I'm tired.
Let's see here. So So you mentioned that Ms. Smith has a history of biting other people, both inmates and COs. Is this, in your opinion, more of a spur of the moment type of activity or something that is planned in advance?
Objection, would that be more speculative at this point?
Rebuttal from the state.
I'm asking for his sense of the behavior from his experience.
And how would he know what her mindset was, or if it was predetermined or not?
This particular question, I'm going to overrule the objection on the fact that it's asking for his opinion of the matter. He's not giving a factual basis of anything in regards to what he knows that she was doing. She's not being asked to speculate on her thoughts. It's his opinion if it was a spur of the moment activity or if it was something planned. I'll allow that one. I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. I'd like to hear the answer. You may continue, Mr. Howe.
Could you repeat the question one more time for me?
Yes. So the history of biting other people, both inmates and COs that you mentioned, did this seem to be like spur of the moment, heat of the moment type of behavior, or something that was more planned out or premeditated?
Initially, upon reading reports of the incidents while I wasn't on duty for, it seemed that way as far as spur of the moment. And then after the incident with Fÿrr, when I was speaking to Sunflower, she confirmed my suspicions about that by basically saying that the voices in her head take over her impulse control, and she basically told me that she loses control of her actions at that point and then lashes out.
Thank you, officer. A moment to confirm.
Hi, Chad.
Hey, Penny.
How's it going?
I'm living life.
Nice. So, Mr. Hauser, can you please explain to me your medical qualifications?
Objection, relevance?
Rebuttal?
I mean, we've had a lot of discussions about diagnosing medical terms like manipulative and the state of her mental capacity and all that good stuff. So, his qualifications for those diagnoses.
Isn't it more just on his opinion and not on him being an expert witness of a medical field?
I mean, if we're willing to just waive it as it's just him speculating wildly about his opinions, then sure.
Your Honor?
Well, let's see. I've already said that in a previous objection that he is speaking of his own opinion. He's not speaking on fact or diagnoses of any type. It doesn't necessarily have any relevance to his previous testimony unless you're trying to enter that it was.
Nope, just making sure that's well known. Wonderful.
So is this question withdrawn, or I haven't?
I mean, will that a ruling on it? Or...
I don't see the relevance to the question based on the basis of the questions and the testimony prior.
Okay, then.
However, I'll allow the question just because I'm kind of curious as to what Mr. Hauser's medical qualifications are in terms of the situations that may occur in the prison. Mr. Hauser, you may answer.
As far as prior to moving to the state, was a medic in the military. After moving to the state, was a fully certified EMT. And then once in Bolingbrook, was designated the medical liaison between the medical team and the general DOC, essentially to assist in filtering information that the doctors would provide to the rest of DOC.
Mm-hmm. And was that just the DOC doctors?
Correct.
Thank you. Okay, so you also mentioned you were having a meeting with Veronica Wilson about the execution. You were trying to schedule it for today, correct? Or the day in question?
Yeah, that's correct. We were trying to schedule it for later the day the incident occurred.
And had Fÿrr been informed about the potentiality of it happening then?
Tim told Fÿrr, and I know it because I heard it.
Negative. She was not informed.
Oh, no problem
What do
then.
I do?
Just sit.
Wait.
I have.
Let me just have a quick think.
Okay.
Yeah, no further questions.
Defense. Redirect.
I just have one. Just to clarify, so based on the previous reports, and with you talking to Sunflower, you do not believe she premeditated any of those
I wanted
instances.
to change.
Objection scope.
It was.
It was within the
Go
question
She's on
from the state.
direct. And redirect, so I'll allow her to ask the question.
Sorry, one more time for me.
So just to clarify, based on her previous DOC reports and with you conferring with Sunflower, you do not believe she premeditated any of those instances.
Based off of mainly off of the conversation I had with her after the incident in question, I have no reason to believe that they're premeditated.
And do you know if there was possibly any time between this incident occurred and beforehand that a correction officer would have known about the planned execution that day?
Potentially.
Yeah, never mind.
Oh, good. Let me just confer with my counsel real quick.
Would you know the list of people who would have known about the execution that was being planned for that day?
As far as who I can recall that was directly informed as far as the scheduling process goes, it was myself, Veronica Wilson, the warden, the deputy warden, I believe Sergeant Tom Wolf, Kumbli Hayabusa,
Do you know if the correction officer, Tim Wright, would have known this information as well?
Okay, objection on this one. Based on one, we're now just blatantly leading, and this is apparently direct. So, and two, we don't have Tim Wright here to testify to any of this or what he does or does
I
not
can
know. So
rephrase.
they
Do you
could
know
have
if
called
any
them.
of the correction officers that were on scene that day knew about that planned
I
execution?
mean, we're objecting here, so
I mean, I'm just restating the question.
Okay.
You could object to that again.
Let's calm down a little bit.
I mean,
I'm gonna
okay, then it's
sustain
leading
that
as well.
objection. I will sustain that objection on leading. It is also. Let's just keep it toned down a bit with each other. Keep it respectful. I understand it's an important case, but there's no reason to raise voices, okay? Respectful. I don't want to have to give anyone contempt for getting a little too heated. I'm going to sustain that objection. It is leading. Counsel, you may rephrase the question if you wish.
So can I still ask the one where I said, did the correction officers that were on scene that day were aware of the execution?
I'm going to
Asked and
object
answered.
on leading as
Whoever-
well.
I'm trying to ask if the people that was present in prison that day knew of the execution, since they would most likely have to be the ones involved in it.
I'm going to ask for a rebuttal.
Go ahead.
She's naming a very specific person who was not
didn't
named by
name
Chad
that.
Hauser at all.
There's no name.
I didn't name that specific person in that current question.
Then we're going to go with objection or asked and answered.
In this particular case, the question prior to this one was asking who knew about the scheduling process. If Mr. Hauser knew about this individual, he probably would have listed it in the previous question. So I'm going to sustain that objection and ask and answer.
Okay, no further questions then?
How nice to Jerry.
What?
Oh, it only took you 9 days.
Sorry.
Recross.
Is he?
State has no further recross.
All right, Mr. Hauser, you may step down. Please put the microphone back if you used it.
Isn't it your turn now?
Great. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, it is.
That's how you dress for.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, when I
Work.
don't give a fuck about the people in this room, yeah.
Okay. I like your attitude.
You don't or do?
I do.
Oh, appreciate it. I've kind of
The
like gone off
defense
the
and the
deep
other
end,
witnesses that you wish
honestly.
to call.
Okay. Well,
Yes, we would
when
like
you're
to
done,
call Jay
we're going
Skeever
for
up
a
to the
ride.
stand.
Sounds good.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you, Harb?
Yeah.
All right, Jay, can you state your name and occupation rank at the time that you were involved with the investigation of this incident?
I am Jay Skeever. At the time of the incident, I was the deputy warden of Bolingbrook State Penitentiary.
And did you question Sunflower Smith about the incident that happened on June 5th?
Yes, I did talk to her about it.
And when you talked to her about it, did Sunflower tell you how she viewed Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite?
She did, yes.
And how did she view Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite?
She referred to her as her mother multiple times.
And did Sunflower tell you that Fÿrr told her about any potential executions?
Yeah, she mentioned that, yes.
And was it specifically regarding an execution that was happening that day or the day of the incident?
If it was the day of, she mostly just mentioned that her death was going to happen and it was going to be slow.
And did Sunflower tell you that Fÿrr picked up a garden trowel and handed it over to her?
Oh, objection leading.
All right, 1 second. In any instance, did Sunflower tell you of Fÿrr trying to tell her to do anything?
Anything on the table for this one or last one? Or...
She withdrew the question, so we may continue with this other question.
Yes, she mentioned that Fÿrr, or as she stated to me, her mother, again, asked her to do multiple things for her.
And among these things, did any of it concern with the the piece of evidence that was found to be the weapon that caused Fyrr's death?
Oh, objection leading?
I'm gonna sustain that one. You probably get there.
All right, 1 second. Did Sunflower tell you that Fyrr tried to tell her to do something physical?
Objection leading?
That is
I'm trying to.
borderline leading there. I understand where you're trying to go, but
Did Sunflower tell you about Fyrr trying to compel her to do anything?
Oh, objection leading again. Sorry.
repeat the question because I did not get that.
Did Sunflower ever tell you of Fyrr trying to compel her to do anything?
Doesn't actually lead the witness to an answer. I'm going to overrule that one.
Okay, so this is the one
May
about
answer.
compelling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she did.
And what did Sunflower tell you that Fyrr was trying to compel her to do?
She was, Fyrr told Sunflower, and at least as far as what Sunflower has told me, that day, was that she asked her to make her death painless, and away from the misery, with the implication of the trowel.
And did Sunflower tell you what she did after Fyrr tried to request her to do this?
Yes, she did.
And what did she say?
She said she was not okay. Like, she didn't know what to do at that time. She had dropped the trowel, like, and multiple times. Just was crying, not okay.
And did Sunflower tell you what Fyrr said to her after she didn't do what she was asked to do?
Yes, she did.
And what was that?
When Sunflower didn't comply or, do what was asked of her initially, she says that, again, she said her mother during this, but implying Fyrr, shouted at her, saying, "Do it or I'll kill you."
Oh my god.
It's crazy.
And then did Sunflower tell you what she did after Fyrr threatened her in that way?
She sure did.
And what did she tell you?
She closed her eyes and swung.
So based on what she told you, can you say that she swung out of fear for her life?
In a situation like that... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we're just going to object to speculation.
All right, did she tell you why she swung with her eyes closed at that point in time?
Yes.
And what did she say?
That it was essentially the way it was put was either her or Sunflower. It was life or death.
At this point, I'm going to object to this line of questioning and motion to strike based on best evidence. If the defendant would like to testify as to her actions in the moment, then she can get up on the stand and do that.
Okay. You know what? I might do that.
My rebuttal is that this person is the one who was interrogating Sunflower the day after incident regarding the charge of murder, and that this would have been an official report if she didn't decide to quit the same day.
So I'm not going to strike the evidence of the testimony that was provided here on best evidence. This is basically a witness testifying to what she experienced and what she was told. Now, sure, the defendant could come up on the stand and answer these questions as well, but that would effectively only be confirmation as to what Ms. Schieber had herself experienced in this matter based on the line of question. I'm going to overrule that one.
Thank you, Your Honor. As long as it's noted that this is Ms. Schieber's experience secondhand.
I wouldn't say it's secondhand. It's her direct interactions with the individual, but noted regardless.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Jay Schieber, did you have knowledge that the execution was being planned that same day of the incident?
Yes, I knew from the command chat.
And have you had a personal experience with fear in your occupation?
Only once or twice, yes.
So do you believe, based on your interactions with her, that Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite is a manipulative person?
I mean, I'm going to object to speculation, but we're going to go with it's probably her opinion.
Yeah, it's her opinion.
Why would you shut up, you DA, you stupid
I'm going to
ass.
keep that noted down as her opinion on the matter, not a statement of fact. I'm going to overrule that one.
Given I've only had like 1 or 2 interactions with her, is it okay if I give clarity for it, or you just want yes or no?
You could provide clarity if you like.
Given that my only real big incident with her was following an incident where one of my COs was harmed or maimed, the way that she spoke of or interacted with that CO after led me to believe that she was highly manipulative. Yes.
Okay, let me speak with my co-counsel.
Let me go up there. Let me go there.
Jay, can you hear me?
Let me go there.
It'll be better not to bring you up there because they're just gonna point out your mental issues and stuff. So don't worry, this is better not to.
Okay.
If we have to appeal it later, possibly, but I think for now
I don't want to die.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Hi, Jay.
Hello.
How we doing?
I'm here.
Wonderful. Love that for you. So, were you in the room when Fÿrr and Sunflower had this conversation?
Objection. We never stated that she was there. She was the one who interrogated her the day after the
Christ,
incident.
what the hell? You don't look like yourself.
I got a rebuttal when you're ready.
Okay. Hello?
Sure, let's hear the rebuttal.
Stupid ass.
I mean, we're just clarifying whether or not she has any direct first-hand of what Fÿrr said, or if this is all just coming from Miss Sunflower.
And as it was stated that this was all told to her during the interrogation the day after. So, fortunately, Fÿrr could not have been in that room because of said reason. Unless they were somehow in the incinerator.
Does she think she's cooking? Because she's making ice cubes.
Okay, whatever you say.
Stupid ass.
Okay, so from a personal perspective, the question is, or at least what I heard was, were you in the room when Fÿrr and Sunflower had a conversation? Is that accurate?
Well, a little bit more specific about the conversation that Jay Schieber has spent quite a while talking about with the whole, whether or not things were said between them.
Okay. I mean, I'll allow the question purely because she could have. You know, we don't know for a fact whether or not she was or not. I mean, I'll allow her to answer. I have no issue with that.
All right.
I
Sure.
understand the objection, but I'd like to know.
It was outdoors. It wasn't in a room, and no.
So all the information you have on this is coming from Sunflower Smith.
From a discussion had with her to get her story after, as is my job, yes. Was, sorry, clarifying.
You're all good.
Stupid Ash.
So, in that instance, would Sunflower Smith have a reason to perhaps deceive you?
Based on my interactions with her, no.
And why not?
Because I've worked with her before in the prison where I worked.
Fantastic. And has she bitten you in that prison before?
Sure did.
And what was the reason given?
She's unwell. Hence why she was on a
I
medical
didn't
hold.
say that.
I'm gonna also reference this one with the whole. The report is titled. Let me just have a little peep at this
The
one.
report is empty, dickhead.
Report is titled Deputy Warden bit for literally no reason.
Is this objection out of scope?
No, just misstatement.
I mean, so do you want me
Yeah,
to
look
just
in
read
the
off the
report
report, or?
Oh, I mean, that's
Wait,
the only
wait
thing
for
in the
the-
report, so.
Wait for the judge.
Okay. So you're objecting to the fact that she stated that the
It
reason
was
that
'cause she was
bitten was unwell, but then the report is stating that she was bit for no reason.
Yeah, exactly.
How the fuck was she supposed
Is
to
that purely the title of the report, or am I actually
I mean,
gonna
that's the only
open
thing
this
in the
and-
report, so.
I hate this guy. Oh my god.
Shruggers indeed.
Stupid ass.
I'm going to say this purely because I think we all kind of know this if we've been working in this field for long enough. Report titles can go from a bajillion different directions. Now, there is no narrative in this report, and the individual that is here right now on the stand is the individual that was bitten. Now, if she now believes that it was because she's unwell, she's free to testify that.
Fantastic.
I'm not going to necessarily take into account a title of a report, really, because they can go in 5,000 different directions, all of which are half the time inaccurate.
Fair
Thank
enough.
you, Your Honor.
So just to clarify then, it's due to Miss Sunflower's mental health.
I can't say exactly what her mental health state was, but she was on a mental health hold.
And that's when she bit you.
Yes.
And who ordered the mental health hold?
Werner Maxwell.
Ooh.
Granted, he has to do it with voluntary. He wouldn't just order it.
Thank you.
It's a pumpkin.
Can we also get your medical qualifications?
Don't have any. State still wants me to look over, you know, Section 12 people, though, so.
What?
Just saying, like, you know, you send up medical holds to the prison. It's like.
Also, I thought you
have
were
to
an
work with
army
them.
medic.
I'm not counting something that I did fucking 10 years ago as my qualifications for dealing with mental health.
All right, cool. That's fine by me.
Yeah, don't send them to prison if you can't qualify them, bitch ass.
Okay, I'm going to pass this on over to Catherine now to round up.
Bye.
Bye.
You up here like ASAP?
All right. You said she had bitten you, regardless of the reason. Were there other instances in the prison where she bit others?
As far as the reports go, yes.
Were there any incidents that required a report that were separate from negative behavior, but still required a report resulting from Ms. Smith's actions.
You're asking me if people like had incidents with her but didn't write a report?
No, these would be ones that required a report that you're aware of.
Whatever's in the docket?
Okay.
I can't see anything, so I don't work there anymore.
Ian, I'm actually satisfied with where we're at with the questioning. No further questions.
Okay, defense, redirect.
I have one more question. Do you believe her bites in regarding to those incidents were more spontaneous rather than premeditated?
I wish I could give just a flat answer to that. But given everything that had happened with her and her demeanor, again, not a medical professional, okay, not diagnosing, but when she first came to the prison, she spoke very often about having a dog-like behavior and referring to herself as a husky. So whether or not you consider that premeditated because she believed herself to be like a dog, that's and up to you, but I think it was more spontaneous personally.
Good. Let me just ask my counsel real quick.
Who do you think's winning? I'm a husky.
All good. No further questions for this witness.
All right, any recross from that singular question?
No, not for that. From that question. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, former deputy warden, you may step down. Please return the microphone if you have it.
Yeah.
Defense, do you have any other witnesses that you wish to call?
Not this time. I'll need to recall a previous witness.
You may recall that witness at this time.
We'd like to recall Veronica Wilson to the stand.
Shorty, don't we have a hit against someone that thinks they're a dog?
I think so, dog.
Let me check my list.
I'm in a dog someday.
Lieutenant, you're already sworn in, so questioning may begin immediately, if you are ready.
Okay. Yes.
So, do you now recall of Chad Hauser making you aware of the execution for fear that day?
You speak up. I'm uncomfortable hearing you.
So, 1 second. Do you recall now if that Chad Hauser made you aware that Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite was being executed that day?
I was the one who initiated the conversation about getting her executed due to the person I was interviewing in interrogation at this time.
But were you made aware that she was being executed that day?
No, because she was not being executed that day until I brought it up and asked if we could speed this up, as there was no date set. I then reached out to a doctor to see if they were available, to a judge to see if they approved it, and to DOC to see what they need to do on their end. Oh yes, I started the conversation. I'm the one who brought that up. There was no date set.
And they said that they're both dumbasses.
Yeah, that
Okay,
tracks.
I just
That's
wanted
usually
to
how it goes.
clarify that earlier when Chad
so.
pointed out that Veronica Wilson was
If
one of
the
the
person's
people
name is like
who was made aware
Sunflower,
of a execution being planned. That is all.
Yes, because I was the one who started the conversation.
I'm just trying to be honest and upfront with you.
Well, don't do that. That's bad.
No further questions?
A hit's a hit's a hit.
Well, don't hit.
Hit state.
I can't.
No cross for this witness.
No, you
All right,
don't.
you may
You
step
have
down. Thank you for
agency.
your
You
time.
have the ability to change and grow as a person.
I can't do that. I'm a hitman.
I hate when people have an opinion.
Regular guy.
That's what makes me a good
I
hitman.
believe that is all of the witnesses that you are
Yeah, people
listed
don't
to
suspect
call,
it.
unless you are asking the
And then
defendant to take the stand.
hit.
What if you
No, we do not wish to call the defendant as a witness at this
Oh
time.
no, it's not that kind of hit.
In that case, I'll give both
I
sides
have
some
like a
time
message I
to
have to give and everything.
get some closing arguments written. If necessary, point out evidence during that time, please.
Don't worry,
now,
I'll pick my moment. I'll pick my moment. I'm just getting intel. I'm just getting intel
Just to
right now.
be sure, the defense rests at this time, correct?
You don't have to worry about it.
I can't.
Sorry, what was that, Your Honor?
I just want to clarify and be sure that you are resting at this time.
Yes, the defense would like to rest at this moment in time.
Okay. In that case, I will give until... how long do you both think that you need for writing closing statement?
I'm already ready.
State?
State can proceed as well.
You do? Oh, can you give us a few minutes then?
Sure, I will give until the 10-minute mark after the hour. If anyone needs to go eat, I would recommend that you do so.
Well
Take a bathroom break, etc.
What's the
This
name
is
of
the
the
time to do
person on
that.
trial?
Court is in recess until 10 after.
Wait, is it there?
Hello, this is Ivy. How can I help you?
No reason.
No, I don't hate you, Eddie.
I get it,
I'm
you
just
hate me.
I don't hate you. I'm busy.
He doesn't live at the Irvine, right?
Yeah, no, he left. He abandoned the Irvine because he hates me.
I live rent free now, Eddie. It ain't because I hate you.
What do you
Because
mean
he got a
rent free?
sugar mama?
Yes.
Where do you live?
He got himself a sugar mama, and now he doesn't want to be my friend.
Eddie, I'm always your friend.
For Eddie and Freddie.
You hate me.
I don't hate you, Eddie. Damn it.
You never reach out, no letters to him.
I've never sent anybody a letter.
I remember when he used to send me messenger pigeons.
I never did that. I'd like to send you a text once a month. That's about it.
A month?
Yeah.
Once a month.
What are you sending, huh? What kind of text do you send him once a month?
Rent?
Oh, I like your new. I like your new mustache.
Thank you, Eddie. I like your existing mustache. Never get rid of it.
Oh, I won't. I look like a child.
Do you?
Yeah, and I hate it.
Will you shave it for me so I can see you one day?
Oh no, this is fake, Rolf. I can't grow facial hair. You
Is
wanna
it? Yeah, please take it off.
There you go. Let me just. Yeah. Guys,
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got a baby face.
No, you really do. You look like a toddler.
Yeah, I know.
Now put it back on.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
That's better.
is
Matches your
your
hat.
mustache fake?
Are
No,
you guys
I grew
waiting to
mine.
order food or are you just talking?
Both actually. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Kind of rude, Rolf.
Howdy.
What can I get you?
Could you just give me a 2 and 2? Just surprise me, whatever you think I'd like by stereotyping me.
All right, I can do that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Unseasoned chicken with rice. That's
Yeah,
what he said.
unseasoned chicken with rice and a protein shake.
No,
Yeah.
you just stereotype me and you'll probably come out all right. Anyways, how is the Irvine doing?
What do you like to know?
You just asked, Eddie.
Yeah, I mean, all right.
I know.
You know what?
What's your state, Eddie?
'Cause he doesn't- he doesn't love
16055.
me. He hates me.
Eddie,
I'm allowed to be dramatic.
what are you being dramatic for?
Because he's good at it.
Do you hate him because he can't grow facial hair? That's kind of fucked up.
No, I don't hate him at all. I've never hated him.
But Irvine's doing real good. Real good, actually.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear it.
I replaced you with a new tenant.
Well, that's good. That's business.
Makes me sad, though.
Everything's on the tray for you, and we also have some Pride popsicles as well if you'd like to take one.
Ooh. Pride, proud pop. What do the little colors mean?
They are the different pride flags.
He's so real for that.
Rainbow is for like general pride, and then we have more specific.
I'm gonna come
ones in
back
there.
later, actually. I might miss the court case stuff.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
Indication that offensive action had been taken, and the eyewitnesses arriving on scene also indicated as such that there were no actions being taken by Ms. Phosphøphylite against Ms. Smith. So self-defense is not a factor in this. The other argument or the other testimony that we heard indicated that there was a coercion that took place, but that is not a defense for murder. A coercion, whether or not it did take place, is irrelevant. She ultimately decided to take the last step, and we heard testimony that Ms. Smith did admit that to Ms. Skeever, that she was the one who did ultimately inflict the wound from the shovel, and she was witnessed biting into the neck as well by the guards that arrived on scene, as testified by Ms. Colefield. Let's see here. Apologies. Above that, the defense arguing that both simultaneously Fÿrr wanted her to do it and did not want her to fight back or was trying to harm her is self-defeating in a way. And given that there was a lawful killing prescribed, this was certainly unlawful in that it was subverting the justice that was set to be had already. The intentionality of this is pretty clear. She took those last steps. She decided for herself to slash her neck and take a bite. And those actions led directly to the death of Ms. Phosphøphylite. Even if the initial attack were somehow deemed to have reasonable doubt instilled in it, the act of biting or further mutilating Ms. Phosphøphylite by biting is still mayhem minor in our code. And as such, given that she succumbed to her wounds later on, the commission of that felony would also result in felony murder. So regardless of the state of affairs regarding the use of the shovel, the act of biting that she was caught in process of by correctional officers on scene that day would also lead her to be guilty of murder. So we are asking that the court sentence Ms. Smith to death, and we do not take that lightly. We believe that Ms. Smith has shown a pattern of behavior that aggravates these circumstances. For this incident alone, she was mutilating Ms. Phosphøphylite in an attempt after the grievous wound had already been enacted upon Ms. Phosphøphylite, making this unreasonably cruel, which is one of the aggravating factors for which death can be prescribed in the state. Additionally, we have evidence submitted in the form of incident reports regarding Ms. Smith's pattern of behavior attempting to mutilate other people's, both inmates, physicians, other correctional officers as well, in a pattern of behavior that is shown with incidents 55308 regarding the attack on Dr. Kageyama, incident 55320 where she attacked Jimothy Slim, biting him again, incident 55395, where she attacked Correctional Officer Quinn Hargrave, again, biting. The testified to attack on Assistant Warden Jay Skeeber, again, biting her. And incident 55594, where she attacked fellow inmate Amelia Wright, biting and trying to eat her, similar in fashion to Ms. Phosphøphylite. We also, all of those which were partially testified to in the testimony we heard today, but also added into evidence and uncontested. They were collectively do amount to major mayhem, which would be another felony A, even though officers out of kind-heartedness, whether or not they were deceived, decided not to press charges. So we do have aggravating factor in that sense, however, not necessarily the legal bar, but it does lead to support the first element of that. And lastly, the offense was committed for the express purpose of avoiding or subverting a judge's order for execution, which is in line with the aggravating factor of attempting to escape or preventing lawful action. Additionally, she has a history of escaping prisons to that effect. Incident 55234, which is attached to 55245 in the evidence. Incident 55473, 55647, and 55743 all contain attempts by Ms. Smith to escape prison through the use of threatened violence. She has succeeded on several of these attempts. We believe that she is likely to succeed again in the future, putting further citizens of the state at risk for her mutilation desires, her violent desires. So given all of the above, the state firmly believes that calling for death in this instance is warranted and should be found guilty and sentenced as such. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Stace. Defense, you're closing.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can I also first have evidence highlighted of the Twinsta post from Fÿrr 55766, the one with her and Sunflower together? And then that other one I want to send you, can I just text it to you to put up at the end?
We're up in Polito at a court case for DMV stuff.
Place it on the docket.
Okay, one second.
Part of your evidence. Allow the prosecution to also review it before allowing you to put it up.
Oh, good, Your Honor. Give me one moment. Ba-ba-ba.
Hey, paralegal. You know what you could have mentioned in the ending statement? That there are multiple multiple logs of me doing community service at my own will, going beyond the amount of time needed by the court. But I went on beyond my way to do more community service. Yeah, but it was part of my bail, so if you say that I was going above and beyond, that would make it look better, because like it's part of my conditions to do community service. So if you was to add that I went above and beyond doing more hours when needed.
I'm having a little issue. Can I?
Because he was saying earlier that you didn't complete all the.
I completed it all. I've
Did
basically
you?
I was ICU all week, which means if I was in hospital, I couldn't commit any
Yeah,
community
I know
service.
that. Yeah.
So this week I've done the last week's, this week's, and more, because I told him in messages, which I can provide, that I will be doing those hours this week because I was in ICU and hospitalized.
Okay. Yeah. He does know about all that already, so.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Picture crucial to anything.
That when he deliberates.
Proceed without it.
That you've been doing
I have
this.
it admitted
And that
now
I did
under
more
evidence.
when needed.
Sunflower doing community service.
Would be nicer. Oh,
Yep.
picture.
Any objections to
Yeah.
defense using this picture as part of their closing?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you may proceed.
All right. I also like to highlight the current photo, which is Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite posting a picture with her and Sunflower stating, quote, I guess she meant to say me, but me and my new friend, a Siberian Husky. All right. So with the evidence and witness testimony that was discussed during this trial, we can show that this was not a case of Sunflower committing murder, but instead involuntary manslaughter, as she was just trying to defend herself as Fÿrr was threatening Sunflower's life in order to get Fÿrr what she wanted, which was to go out on her own accord, knowing that she was in prison for execution, which is shown by the evidence earlier highlighted by the Twinsta post baiting anyone to come to the prison in order to harm her. There's also highlighting the evidence before of both their fingerprints being on the travel, specifically the handle, which proves that there was a back and forth between the two at some point during this incident. So it cannot be said that it could be proven without a reasonable doubt that what occurred was murder, but instead manslaughter, due to the fact that Fÿrr did pass away, but it was something she wanted to happen of her own accord, and she manipulated and threatened Sunflower Smith in order to get her way. If it was Sunflower committing murder, would the fingerprints of the victim not be on the opposite end of the trial as an act of self-defense and not on the handle itself, which matches the description of what Sunflower recounted to Jay Skeever and what happened that day? Sunflower, in this instance, was just a victim of a serial killer and murderer who wanted to go out the way she did by any means necessary, as proven as a Twinsta post that was posted on the same day, which Fÿrr was egging on anyone to come to Bolingbrook to cause her harm. So with her resources being limited, Fÿrr instead used someone who she considered a friend, as related to the evidence highlighted currently, and threatened to kill her as her last evil act on this earth before finally getting what she wanted, the last laugh out of all of us. Sunflower is not a psychopath murderer like Fÿrr. She is someone who suffers from psychological issues and needs help, who is seeking help even now with Sama in order to help her with her issues. She's doing her best to get rehabilitated, and she's remorseful to this day over what had occurred that tragic day in Bolingbrook. And it's stated with many witnesses that Sunflower is not prone to do premeditated things. Can I also now have the photo highlighted that I asked for earlier?
Where's Piggy Man?
There you
Piggy Man! Piggy Man!
Oh no, not the pig.
Do I believe Sunflower Smith should be locked away or in prison for life or to be sent to death, even though we do not have the current facilities to 5150 or lock someone away in life? No, I believe my client just needs the proper medical help that she needs and not to be treated as a lost cause. She should not be treated as a murderer, which was the one who manipulated and threatened her life in the first place, in which she acted in self-defense.
man.
And this is why the defense firmly believes that this is more in line with the charge of manslaughter. And as the picture shows, Sunflower Smith is working on rehabilitation and working on her bail. She works with animals up north in the by the Grapeseed Farms with a parole officer, Dallas. And
Don't get me started.
They gave
let's
me
see.
a house.
Also, considering the fact of the prosecution trying to push for the death sentence, I will relate to the case law section under cruel and unusual punishment under Article 8 with Jack Oswald White, and go down through each bullet point and state that none of these is related to my client whatsoever. First one being the felony A offense was intentional and carried out for financial gain. It was not. The defendant intentionally carried out the felony A offense by means of lying in wait. She did not. The defendant was convicted previously of any felony A offense. She has not. The defendant in this proceeding has been convicted of more than one felony A offense. She has not. The felony A offense was committed by means of a destructive device, bomb, or explosive planted, hinted, or concealed in any place, area, dwelling, building, or structure, and the defendant knew or reasonably should have known that his or her act or acts would create a great risk of death to one or more human beings. She did not. The felony A offense was committed for the purpose of avoiding or preventing a lawful arrest or perfecting or attempting to perfect an escape from lawful custody. In this case, she did not. I know the prosecution was trying to push that she was trying to evade fear, but in order to
Can't you add things on?
evade her,
I can, but it's I'd be writing it while she's reading it.
Whisper it.
Yeah, sorry.
Wait, we're trying to add on. God.
It's okay.
wait until I'm done. I cannot think when you guys are talking.
Yeah, you're good.
So she did not evade fear by preventing her execution. She was simply self-defending herself. So that does not relate to this case at hand. The next prong is the victim was a peace officer, emergency medical provider, doctor, firefighter, or federal law enforcement, prosecutor, assistant prosecutor, judge, or former judge, elected, appointed official, former official, or other government employee in the felony A offense was intentionally carried out in retaliation for or to prevent the performance of the victim's official duties. I think we could safely say that that is not the case for Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite. For the last two prongs, the victim was a witness to a crime who was intentionally killed for the purpose of preventing his or her testimony in any criminal proceeding. This does not relate. In the last prong, the felony A offense was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity. As used in this section, the phrase especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity means a conscienceless or pitiless crime that is unnecessary tortures to the victim. This is not the case. If you oversee the autopsy report, the cause of death was a sharp, tool, as stated as the trial. So it is not that pertinent to this case.
Yes.
What we have here today is not a murderer like Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite, but a victim of Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite who was simply just acting in self-defense for her own life and safety against someone who believed who was not only a friend, but a mother figure to her. And I hope you consider this all today and know that we shouldn't give up on the people who have mental issues in the state, but we should understand and give them the help they need so we don't just execute them all like with a firing squad and just see them get rid up by bullets. We do not need senseless death on our hands for no reason unless needed to do so. Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite was someone who deserved that, but Sunflower Smith is not. Thank you.
Great job.
She kind of killed
Thank
it.
you.
Well,
She's
I'm
too
gonna
good
be
for
honest.
WTF. We're gonna lose her.
No,
You are.
All right, I'd like to thank all the witnesses as well as counselors here today for attending this trial.
Delilah can be goofy.
I'm going to place court into recess so I can deliberate on this matter. If deliberations take an extended period of time, I will delay the verdict and inform you within the
I don't
next
know if that's a
15 to
bit
30
anymore.
minutes of that matter. There is a lot of evidence to go over, but much of this is consideration for sentencing if I get to that point.
I solved from that though.
All right, you want to go outside for a little bit?
I will.
Let him finish.
Let's see, who wants to be in charge today?
Me.
Okay, other than the people involved in the case.
Nikki
Alright.
Swift does.
Niles?
I mean, not Nikki. Niles, sorry.
Nyla? Maybe?
My brain is bad after.
Just not Christina Bale. Not Christina Bale.
Okay. Well, Niles is in charge.
Okay.
Court is now in recess.
You want to go?
Let's
outside
go.
for the-
Let's go.
Wow.
Don't do it.
I don't like everyone. Hey, the person's back for food.
Hello.
Hey, Sarah's
Did say you'd
impatient
be back.
before. Yeah, they just said that was going to be a 5-minute break, so I didn't want to miss the closing arguments and all that.
Comes around whenever he wants.
Fair enough.
What can I
Yeah,
get?
you know what? I might try that out.
Yeah, can I just
Okay,
get a
tell me
2
how
and
it
2
works.
of anything?
Do I call them and say it and try to get them to just go to their place of business?
Oh, find a payphone. Right, find a payphone and then use the payphone. Because think about it, if you use a payphone, they're gonna try to look that up, and they're not gonna be finding it. And they're like, oh, that has to be.
Hey, are any other of the DRC and meeting, the courthouse?
My collection of burner phones.
Hey, Benji.
burner
They
phones are
were
lazy.
there,
Go
but
find a
I think they
payphone,
might
use the
have
cord.
left now. I'm not sure if they're still around.
Okay.
Bingo.
I'll go quick look, see if they are.
Son of a bitch. All right, I'm
What
on
have you
it.
been doing, Will?
I'm on
You
it.
got this. Get
Thank
in
you
there.
for that suggestion, Eddie.
You're welcome, Ralph.
Be good
Bye.
now.
Goodbye,
I'll try.
Lumpy.
You're not lumpy, Ralph. You're built like a brick shit house. Okay, you've upset him.
You made it
He's-
worse. You made it worse.
Why? A brick shit house is sturdy.
Not with the
Yeah, I
word
was
shit
gonna
in it.
say. Well, no,
Well,
it's
would've
just
been
a figure
funnier
of
if I
speech,
censored
Freddy.
it, but I didn't feel like hitting the button.
What's your state ID, sweetheart?
It's
I'm in a
19936.
waiting state.
Weaken this.
Excuse me?
The moment I thought about it, I still went with it.
You wait.
There you are
I
Oh,
on
always
the tray.
wonder if this
There are
church is
also some of the
leaking
Pride
or
Pops if
burning
you'd like
just
to
because
take
the
one. They're
tweets
Oh,
free.
is here.
Alright, sounds good, thanks.
The only ones I don't have are the straight rainbow. Otherwise, I have a bag with a lot of them.
Okay, thanks for that.
Yeah, no problem. Hello.
Have fun at the trial.
Yeah, well, I was trying to have fun, but it's been a bit boring, to be honest. Been very
well,
drawn out.
You have a TLDR of what's going on?
It's basically Sunflower Smith. They're trialing her for murdering Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite. But the state wants to put her to death, but the defense are arguing that it should be just manslaughter because she was trying to do it out of self-defense. But I don't think either of them seem to have a very clear argument either way. I don't know how it's going to go.
It's kind of fair.
What do you
Alright,
think
well.
this person should get?
I'm kind of torn, to be honest, because I work as DOC, so I've actually had some experience with Sunflower in the prison, and she's a real pain in the ass to deal with, but she probably also has some mental issues, so I don't know. To be honest, she probably doesn't deserve death, but she's really hard to control, and she's like constantly escaping, so I feel like she is a danger to the community.
I have a couple of questions. You said you're DOC or used to be?
I did start with DOC like a month or two ago, but then DOC got shut down temporarily. So I guess I'm not technically DOC right now, but I'm still like listed as employed there.
So did you have to like set up a food bowl and water bowl for this person?
No, we just kept telling her to eat at the cafeteria, but she didn't want it to eat there.
So you
But
didn't
apparently
respect her.
We're
her
not
mental
allowed to
state.
give her different food because apparently that's government corruption. I don't know. I think
Okay.
maybe they should make exceptions in some cases, like these weird ones. But yeah, it's not really up for me to decide. I'm just a cadet.
So how human is this person, and how much of a dog do they have in them?
She doesn't really act very dog-like apart from biting people now and then. She just goes around saying, "Oh, I'm a Siberian Husky, and you know, I'm the chosen one. I can speak dog and human."
She's the chosen one?
She says she can see like invisible like huskies, and they talk to her basically. But I don't really know how much she is saying is actually happening to her, or if she's just bullshitting it.
Now, question. You said she's really difficult to deal with sometimes, probably in prison. Have you guys ever tried putting a shock collar on her?
I did try
Yes,
tasing
yes.
her once in a hostage situation, but that didn't really go that well.
Oh,
I don't think we're allowed to use shock collars, I'm pretty sure.
that makes sense. It's probably inhumane.
Is it though?
Yeah, I got given a hard
Aw.
time even for putting her in solitary. Apparently that's not good for her. So we're just meant to let her go around and cause havoc and... Oh, okay, technically we can kind of lock her up in more open areas, but...
So you put her in the
I don't know.
doghouse, huh?
Well, the garden sometimes. She seems to like that.
Well, you give her free time. Take her to the park.
Really any park areas in the prison. I think I'd trust her to go on field trips.
Okay. I feel satisfied with my questions. What about you, Eddie?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I hope it at least picks up and it gets a little more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
God knows court can be a snooze fest. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, just a lot of people asking questions like, did she tell you about this? And then the person says yes. Then they're like, well, what did they tell you? And then they answer it. So it gets very tedious. I don't think I could handle being a lawyer.
I'm gonna be
yeah.
honest. Sometimes I think even lawyers don't know how to handle being a lawyer.
Yeah, sometimes they did seem a bit lost in this case.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Who's their lawyer?
I can't remember. Yeah, I didn't catch the name. I showed up a bit late. Probably on the docket.
Gotcha. Yeah, it probably will be.
Yeah.
Hopefully it gets better and stuff, and you enjoy your time in there and whatnot.
I guess I'm just there because it's going to impact me. I just want to know like what her story is and I mean, if I'm going to be working with her in the prison again at some point, I'd sort of like to know all this stuff.
That's fair. Especially if, she's gonna be a frequent, I can't think of the word, resident of the prison,
Or a permanent resident.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
sure
they
of what
do.
they're going for this. Seems like the defense thinks she should just be let out and just be working with animals and doing community service or something.
Oh.
Yeah, I was just I was telling whoever the person was who just left,
I'll be back.
that
I'm gonna
she
use the
called to
restroom.
ask for a job here. And both the owner and I were like, no. No, thank you. I'm crazy enough for this establishment.
No, you're not.
Yeah, no, you don't have a short fuse, as that one guy
No.
says. Oh.
If only he knew. He just picked a really bad day.
Not bad enough, because he would have felt it if it was a really bad day.
He was close.
Oh, it was nice meeting you. What was your name, DOC?
Yeah, it's Anna.
Anna.
Anna was one of the poor ones who just got promoted right before they shut the fucking place down.
Oh.
Pretty much. I think I did 1.5 shifts after I got solar, and yeah, then they're like, okay, everyone's suspended indefinitely.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, what were your names, by the way?
My name's Freddy. Freddy Chaos. No, I'm not
Hi.
chaotic. Yes, I'm hot, gay, and old.
I got this.
Okay.
All right. Why is she just pointing?
I have no clue. Well, it's nice meeting you, Anna.
Yeah,
Oh,
same.
I'm Ivy.
Okay, hi.
I was I'm concerned.
Concerned?
To me, the person over there is just doing this, like her arm is stuck like this.
I don't
She
see
has it in a
that.
sling. I see it.
Okay, so I'm not going more insane, Freddy?
Nope. Nope.
Okay. Okay. That moment I need to check.
Won't hold you too long. You don't want to miss that court case about it.
Yeah, they said it was going to be in recess, but yeah, I don't know how long that'll take. I should probably head back, see what's happening. Alright, yeah, see you around.
Have fun with the crazy person trying to be a dog.
Yep.
Stayed around for another hour, and then I switched to do a dispatch shift because I need to do dispatch hours and stuff. And someone called dispatch, called me while I was clocked into dispatch, asking for DMV stuff. So then I went and stood at the DMV for an hour and helped people because I suddenly had a line. Sean gave me permission to do DMV wherever I want, so.
Well, you can just dispatch from the DMV, right? Like, there's like offices upstairs.
I can't go in those offices.
When you're clocked in as dispatch, you can't?
I don't think so. I don't think I can even like go into the back
At the courtroom?
of the DMV.
Yeah. As
I don't think.
dispatch?
Yeah, I don't think my keys work back there.
Huh. How do you like dispatch?
I mean, I have to check. I like it a lot. It's pretty good. It's like it was like hard adjusting at first.
Duct tape to my leg and no pain medication.
I'll be right back.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
God.
Why?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Sunflower.
Do I know you?
Yeah, I'm Anna. DOC
Hi,
at the
Anna.
prison.
How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
I'm good. I need your number.
I don't think you need my number.
But you're my friend.
We're not friends. I just,
Yes, we are.
I just kind of had to be at
Everyone
the same
is
place
my
that you
friend.
were.
Everyone's my friend.
You say so.
I don't really exactly remember you of your facial recognition. Do I know you from a specific event that happened in person or something? I don't remember you much.
Well, there was a hostage situation that we were in.
Well, oh, are you the one I beat down?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Can I give you a hug in exchange as an apology?
I don't need a hug. It's alright.
Wow, denying a hug from me. Can't believe it. I can't believe you. You know, I just can't. How's her?
Hey,
Hi.
Chad, is,
How are you?
Chad, is accepting hugs government corruption?
In the next case,
Is
probably
accepting
not
hugs government corruption?
you probably better
No.
Is it in exchange for any government
I know it's a
funds,
lot,
equipment,
like,
anything
you
like
could
that, or is
probably
it just a
even
hug?
see me.
I think it's just a hug.
No, that's not government.
Yeah, you saw how much.
Okay, you're allowed to hug me if you really want.
Change some questions
Okay.
or omit a lot of them.
Pumpkin. No pumpkin. Huggies.
But yeah, we'll
There
definitely
you
ask
go.
for feedback afterwards, and then. But I really appreciate all your help. But I definitely need.
Okay, okay.
Oh my god.
Because I felt like if I stood up there alone, it would be.
It was good seeing you today.
Yeah, good
No.
seeing you too.
If I get sent to prison, at least you see me there.
I don't know about that.
Me?
More, you don't want to come back?
Oh,
I can't clock on duty.
yeah,
Why
great
not?
for you.
You could say we're all kind of on a
week or two
forced
now?
strike.
When can I be like removed?
Hmm?
When can I be taken off so you guys can go back on duty?
Whenever the governor decides to make a decision.
Well, fire the fucking warden. Put Jay in a warden position or you, and then open up DOC again.
Either one of us wants that position. Maxwell's the best one
I'm
for
glad
that.
you're not the type of
Well, fuck Maxwell. He sucks.
prosecution
What
that
the hell?
just objects to every single
Yep.
question. Because I've dealt with officers.
Is there
like
any
that,
news
and
on
it
that,
takes,
by the
like, a
way,
1-hour case to a
from the
6-hour
warden?
case.
Yeah, I thought for sure we was going to like close to midnight tonight.
'Cause I'm the
Nothing
same, I'm not gonna
concrete.
object just
He
to
thinks there
object
might be a
everything,
resolution
I know
sometime
some
this
of my
week, but
objections were a little
we
bit.
will
That's just me.
we will
I'm
see.
not used to objections a lot. So
Okay,
just keep that in
guess I
mind.
just
That's
gotta
me
stay patient.
being greenhorn than anything else.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, you stinker.
It's very much just in the hands of the
I mean,
governor.
let me
so,
finish.
and
I
he
know
does
you
not
were
work
trying
fast.
to kill
Yeah,
me.
right. At least I
But
managed to get
forgive you.
another
I
job
just
to
want to
tide me
say
over.
That I'm really proud.
Got a job
There
at
you go,
Ellie's
what are you working at now?
barbecue.
It nearly took 3 hours.
Hey, hell
and
yeah.
That both of you did a really good job.
I applied as
If I'm
well
gonna
for
die
working
today-
at Hayes since it's pretty much next to it, but
You know,
yeah, I
if I'm
haven't
gonna
heard
die
back
today, I
yet.
might as well say my congratulations to
Mm,
people.
okay.
You're not gonna die today.
Well, good luck with that too.
Thanks.
Mr. Pumpkin will take care. Oh. Well, I'm already counting down the minutes left of my life because I know I'm gonna die.
No, you're not gonna die.
You're gonna kill me.
I mean, you're not gonna die by the state by execution today, specifically.
Allison got killed by execution.
Counselor Swift's got a point. Not her indirectly implying.
Yeah, and I was there to witness it.
Someone else
And I think
Allison died.
Kidnap someone, dress them up as her, and then have them run it.
No, I'm sorry. That was so.
And she
that was
played
so
fetch with
funny.
me.
That was actually so funny. Anyway, you're not gonna die today by the stick.
Thank you, thank you.
She played fetch with me. Yep. She played fetch. It was very nice.
Sunflower, what's your current opinion of Jay Skeeber's notes?
Notes.
Oh my god, that did sound like ties.
Notes.
I know
Nose?
SE.
Oh, nose. Big and fat. It needs to be flattened. I tried to flatten it in prison.
I know you did. She was texting me and calling me.
No, it
about
was like a
Yes.
pop sound,
Big
not
fat
like
nose.
a clank in the water. It sounded like something deflated.
It needs facial reconstruction.
Yeah, it doesn't help that
No?
I also feel really hot in this outfit. Like,
You
it's
know,
almost
I was
late.
looking at my phone, and I don't know if my phone is wrong, but my phone says 3 in the morning. What's the time?
When I'm through with you, you'll need a
Almost 10
respirator to
p.m.
live.
Oh my god. This started at 7,
Real?
8,
Yeah.
9, 10. Oh my god. Just
Remember
sentenced
we
me to
had
death
like
already.
how many? 6 witnesses
have to
called
inflate
up?
the first. 'cause
I don't
It was
know.
pretty quick for the number of witnesses and the
Okay,
number
but what if it
of,
was
like,
your car? That's what I mean. I thought it was gonna be like.
moments where there was
Then
like
that would
just
be
kind of
really
objections being
concerning
thrown
for it
rapid
being so
fire.
loud because
Mhm.
I honestly
moved it
expected
over
it
to
to
the
take close to
emissary.
5 hours. I didn't expect.
You
3
know,
hours.
I
That
told
would be
too many
very
people
loud
to
and
shut the fuck up
concerning.
in that court case. Thankfully, no one heard me.
It's all good.
Well, at least I can say.
Yeah, I just have
It's
this
not
weird
my
auditory issues. If I hear people talking, I can't
true. You
focus
can
on
definitely
someone
say
else.
it's
Nah, I have.
Jay told. We were just sitting there, and Jay straight up, like, stood up and was
Also,
like,
how are you holding
"Sunflower,
up?
behave yourself." Like, I got
Are
scared
you
so
doing
much, I
okay,
just
or are
sat
you in
down.
that
Yeah, she
zombie
paid for
state?
your bail.
I'm actually a lot less.
Jay
Yeah,
Skeeber
and
also
she'll
told
get her
me
money back.
earlier that she's proud of you that you
Nice.
you haven't broken your
She,
bail yet.
oh, I need to speak. She had a plushie for me. Shit,
Oh,
she's still awake. Jay,
Yeah,
well,
the governor
please don't.
kidnapped her.
I was like, could you imagine if she
Oh.
called
Oh,
me?
come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on,
Put two and two
come
together?
on.
wait, the governor Jerry?
Yeah, Jerry was here.
He
Jay,
was here?
Jay.
Yeah,
Oh wait, I
Jerry
think I
came
saw
in,
him.
Saw Jay. Jay went up on the stand, hung around, and then took her.
As soon as she was
I was
done?
like, hey,
That's
that guy
crazy.
looks familiar, and then
Yeah.
I forgot who it was because
He
I
walked in,
really
I'm like,
seen
Jerry? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh,
it's too.
That's a lot of businesses.
half
I know.
price rim jobs.
I, from my knowledge,
Testing to see if Jerry
She's
got
such a
it.
stinker.
All is
30
real just to
businesses
feel
I got shut
something.
Don't worry, the governor
Yeah,
probably took her.
In the overnight
She smells.
Seizure, I have
Yeah.
no idea.
I
But
could
I
get you a
don't know- what?
plushie later on if you want those, Sunny. Sunflower.
Oh, I wore my plushie.
That's kind of my logic.
I don't have
and,
it now, but I could buy
trying
you
really
one.
high dosage
Yeah.
medications. like
Plushie.
that.
I'll take it.
Well, it says it could hurt me, but like, how do I know that if I don't just try for myself? And then it
I
hurts
do
me
have a
every time.
patch though. Do you want a patch of a cat?
No, I take
what if
plushies.
Exactly. Like, what if I
Next time I go
like,
to the
don't
plushie store, I
overdose,
get you
and I
some, alright?
overdose every time?
Deal, if I'm not dead.
Remember, you got your sunflowers on you.
Exactly. Like,
Yes, I
like,
do.
What if the dosage in the
And your
bottle is actually
pumpkin.
not the dosage it says?
Yep,
Like,
Dr.
I can
Pumpkin.
Just try all these things out, you know?
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, Miss Red Hair.
Yeah. I mean,
What's
I
your
could see
name?
that you could, argue that from a defense side to argue for the
Nice to
correct
meet you. I am
charges, but
Sunflower.
I did actually.
I think it definitely probably is easier
Do
to do
you
that on the
enjoy this
prosecution
court
side.
case?
You know, it's funny. Actually, Wade put up today. That time a year ago, and I did
don't enjoy court cases.
And I was like, yeah, but I haven't done that since, and it's been a year. He was like, you're right.
It's okay though.
Because you learned your lesson, didn't you?
Can I be
You
your
know, you don't do that
friend?
anymore. I was like, no. Instead, I just take random pills I find on the floor when people
If you'd
roll them
like.
out. And he was like, what? I was like, yep. He was like, why'd you do that? I was like,
I mean,
oh,
yeah,
I'm
that makes
curious.
sense. If you feel like you don't,
What
if
is
you
this?
wouldn't like
I
it,
was like,
I
overdose.
don't blame you.
Case in point.
And I'm not judging you to
I
say
brought
like,
it myself.
I think that's close-minded of you or anything.
Do you still want to get married? And he was like, yeah.
Did a good job.
Yep.
Although
Yum,
I
yum.
agree with you that.
Could I get your number, since you're my friend?
Really? Since
They haven't had one in a long time.
Remember that I found that stuff in the trash can? Or something
Could you
like
hold my
that?
pumpkin, Delilah? For a
Sure.
second.
What's their full name again?
Honest vehicle.
Yeah. Weird.
You know, just pumpkin. Big Dr. Pumpkin.
See,
Here you go.
Thank you.
and I guess it wasn't.
Yeah.
Hey,
It
I don't
certainly was
think
not.
I've seen them
I give you
operate
mine,
since then, but
okay?
I know they were operating a little bit, and I mean a little bit.
310
They operated
Oh,
maybe once a week.
Oh, but that would have
881
been so funny though. You're like trying to run. and, like, do your
2087.
and then you're like running,
Another
and then you
shot
just
in the
fall.
dark.
And sunflowers.
If that gets shut down, I
waking
wouldn't
up
have
in the
a problem with it,
hospital,
you know?
cuffed to the bed.
That's my assumption.
Papa Dom's a pizza, right?
She's like, I'm
Still
running
exists.
from them. And the
They
next
haven't
thing I
been around in
remember,
forever either.
I'm looking at
Business
the
license
hospital
expired
Thank
April
you.
6th.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that one should have
Pumpkin.
been shut down because they haven't
Okay,
been
I'll
active
take
at all.
April
Let me hand it over.
That's the argument you're gonna make.
Yep.
Papa Dom's
Yeah,
a pizza.
exactly.
Oh,
hasn't had
that's
an
so
active business
funny.
license since April 6th.
Oh my
I
gosh.
felt so bad.
Actually, let me think of another one.
I
to look at.
accidentally
Pump and dump.
tested some of it, you know?
Because they haven't operated in
And
forever.
then
Ow, I need to go.
overdosed. And then, like, after like 8
Do you need
hours
me
or
to hold the
something, I
pumpkin
wake
again?
up on the fucking
Are you
dirt
putting it
ground.
down?
And
Business
the
license
first
is
thought that
active,
occurs
but
to me is,
they don't
oh
operate.
no, heal.
Produce
Before
businesses.
we
It's literally
tested.
Blackwood Farms and then farm to table. All grapeseed, sheriff's
Not just
department.
fentanyl,
will
but
go
an
and
extremely
they'll
high
farm,
dosage
but
of
it's
fentanyl.
personal. It's not a
Oh.
business.
So maybe don't.
The judge is
Hello.
back.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We can always talk about this later.
I'm always free to talk.
Fingers crossed.
It's like the ketamine I had in the hospital yesterday was perfectly fine. I didn't overdose.
Scott, hope for the best now.
Yeah, you can reach out to me, and then I can see if the judge can do it.
Yes.
Ketamine's not harmful.
Oh my god, I didn't
Oh,
know.
no, that is factually incorrect.
Just no, I mean, it's not
Need a
harmful,
helping
just
hand.
The wrong amounts of it are.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, the wrong ones are
Right.
harmful.
Yeah, like
Pumpkin.
it itself isn't harmful innately. It's just there.
I'm
It's just a
scared for
thing.
my life. Oh my god.
Like,
I'm
you know,
being a little facetious.
it's like, you know, sniffing like a little bit of.
All right. Is everyone present?
Defense is present, Your Honor.
All right. In that case, I'm going to bring this back into session. Whew. It's a lot to review. But also, facts of the case really weren't controverted here. The defendant did take those actions that she took. Essentially, the defense asked for lenience in the defendant's actions, as opposed to attempting to, I guess, disprove any facts that were presented in the case other than motive.
Oh, I'm gonna go to prison in life.
Oh, no,
I
this
know
was-
this,
The
right?
court today reviewed the full record of proceedings in the matter in the state versus the defendant, who stands charged with murder. Was examining of the testimony, weighing the admissible evidence, and considering arguments presented by both counsel. The court's going to now render its verdict.
I'm scared. Oh my god.
The facts of the case are, well, to say the least, are somewhat disturbing. They're layered, tragic. It's not disputed that a human life was taken. The victim had died from an injury clearly inflicted by the defendant. The evidence confirms that the defendant held the weapon, used it, and the last person to interact with was the last person that interacted with the victim. Witness statements, forensic results, expert testimony all establish all of that beyond a reasonable doubt. However, the court is not blind to deeper human complexity that may have emerged during this trial through testimony. Defendant was not necessarily clear or stable state of mind throughout the incident. Multiple witnesses have observed the defendant crying, not once, but repeatedly. Even testified that Sunflower herself stated that she was crying and had dropped the trowel more than once before committing the act. It's not necessarily the behavior of someone that's cold or calculated. It's more the behavior of an individual that's erratic or confused or emotionally chaotic. Those details are fairly consistent with all the testimony that was given in regards to the defendant's mental health struggles, including a delusion of the fact that they're a Siberian Husky, and a well-documented history of unpredictable animal-like behavior in biting individuals. Further, the court acknowledges a significant influence of a potential external manipulation in the victim. Testimony had supported the claim that Miss Phosphøphÿllite was an exploitative and coercive individual, believed to be at least by multiple individuals in Department of Corrections, and some of the evidence presented today in regards to that. Now, the law has to separate a level of understanding from an excuse. Emotional distress, mental illness, manipulation can explain their behaviors. They can affect sentencing. They can guide what I do after a verdict. However, the law has me looking at this in a way that I cannot necessarily erase any legal responsibility when it comes to elements of a crime that was committed. The actions taken by the defendant were in an accident. The act itself was violent. It included biting and a removal of flesh from the victim in that manner after, or supposedly after, the trial was slashed into the victim's throat. It was deliberate. The repeated engagement of the weapon, of her dropping it and picking it up, according to the testimony of former Deputy Warden Jay Skeeber, alludes to the fact that the defendant had time to think about it. They had the opportunity to potentially run away or not commit the act. The fact that she chose to do that demonstrates a significant awareness and control to satisfy culpability in the eyes of the law. It comes down to me and acting as the justice in this matter, looking at the whole of the case and everything that was testified today, and I'm remiss to say that I'm disappointed in the ask of the prosecution for the death penalty here. It doesn't meet the threshold of sentencing someone to death, regardless of if she is guilty or not. She wasn't charged with multiple felonies. She wasn't doing any action that was listed under Jack Oswald White. While I can understand the concern that she may be an individual that's dangerous to society at certain times, that can be said for many, many people in this state. It's not a reason to sentence someone to death. Not that alone. In fact, members and people of the community that are in this room right now or could probably be labeled with they're a danger to society at some point. Again, not a reason to put someone to death. That said, today I find that the prosecution has met its burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt and find the defendant guilty of murder in the second degree. This verdict reflects both the undeniable responsibility behind this act and the presence of significant mitigating circumstances. Those factors will be taken into account during the sentencing phase. I am sorry that this did not go the way that the defense had hoped. I did not expect to be very harsh in terms of sentencing. However, I will allow a time for those who wish to speak before sentencing comes down.
We need Jay here. We need Jay. We need Jay. We need Jay urgently.
And that is the verdict of this court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
If there's anyone that wishes to stay for a sentencing hearing, you may do so. Now, without a solidified Department of Corrections at the moment, it is difficult for me to want to send the defendant there for a extended basis. I will keep that in mind.
I want to speak for myself.
But again, if anyone would like to speak, I would suggest that you line up in the center, whether for or against harsher punishment or lighter punishment. Ms. Smith, you will also be given an opportunity to speak as well towards the end.
Where?
I guess you'll wait at the end.
People speak after,
Yep.
and then you'll have a chance to speak.
Oh, okay.
You'll for sure get to speak, though.
Dr. Schilling, if you'd like to step up and
Roland, can I speak to
give
you
your
in civil?
considerations for sentencing here.
I want to implore the court to not go for the death penalty. I also implore the court to not go for a life sentencing without parole. While Sunflower was misdiagnosed, she does have mental ailments. These ailments do need to be seen to. She does need proper rehabilitation. She does need proper treatment to aid herself. She has shown that with actual proper medication, she has been able to sustain a job. I feel that proper sentencing would be life with the possibility of parole, understanding that conditionally part of that parole has to come under medical care for mental health. I feel like the death penalty is too harsh. Do I think that she's a malicious human? No, I do not. Do I think she has more cognizance than sometimes she displays? Yes, I do. But I still feel that she does need help. And that's my opinion.
Thank you, Dr. Schilling.
I'd like to speak to a couple things that could influence her sentence. First, and this is totally a guess on my part from basically what I saw here and heard on the radio. I believe the governor, Jerry Callow, is working with DOC at this moment to hopefully fix whatever problems are going on. So hopefully this issue of there not being a stable DOC is short term and we fix it. Not during her time on bail, she did things that technically could have violated her bail multiple times, including leaving ICU to go to humane labs, then going back to ICU and contaminating the hospital. She went there a total of 3 times. The 2 times were before she was on bail. The 3rd time was while she was on bail. She did lie and manipulate some people, including the halfway house. She rents a halfway house. The support system that she had that paid for her bail that she said was going to be there to support her was not there to support her during this entire time. You can see from the wiretap that she reached out to the News Times that they were not there. Did not assist her at all. Luckily, we do have something set up in Grapeseed right now. The casework program and the halfway house that was there to give her the support she needed. If and when she's obviously given parole at some point, highly encourage that it be through the halfway house program where it's monitored by police and they work with doctors and counselors and everybody to give them the support they need to make sure they make it to therapy appointments, make sure they have transportation to the jobs. I don't think we can rely on her previous support structure as was proven during this bail time that they were not there for her. So she, when she's given, when and if she's given parole, it needs to be structured. I think that would benefit everybody most, especially her.
All right, Your Honor. Nikki Swift, attorney, previously represented Sunflower. Just wanted to kind of speak to the options here related to life. Now, life with or without parole, effectively the same sentence. I had to work diligently with the DOC to establish a parole board for one Benji Carter, and they worked really hard to establish, requirements and standards for parole, and now that's all kind of been washed. So at the end of the day, life sentence, parole, no parole, it's effectively the same thing in this jurisdiction. I don't think a life sentence should apply here. Looking at the sentences that we dole out for a similar scenario, let's say murder of a government employee, premeditated, people are serving 7 to 14 years. At the end of the day, what Sunflower did was she expedited a death sentence for Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite by a matter of months. Putting her in Bolingbrook for life, I just don't think that it's practical in this sense. Also, as you've already touched on, death penalty should not apply. It's cruel and unusual. That's all I have.
Thank you, Counselor.
I had to say that with a straight face.
I would just like to speak on two things.
Sure.
One on the matter of how could she couldn't just simply run away. You expect someone to run away in prison to where? They are trapped in there. They're in the mindset of eat or be eaten there. She has been previously attacked in the prison as well. So I think it could be a good cause for the fact that if someone who's a known serial killer is threatening someone's life and they're hesitant because they didn't want to murder them, they didn't want to hurt them. And if you recall from the statement of Jay Skeeber that she closed her eyes and swung the trowel when she did so. Does that sound like an act of someone who wanted to murder someone? For me, I feel like it was involuntary manslaughter. Whether or not that she took the bite out of her neck afterwards, that was not how Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite died. And it's proven that Sunflower does have, psychological issues, especially pertaining to biting people. But as many people listed, that it's more spontaneous than premeditated. So do I feel like this was a premeditated murder?
Are you gonna go up?
No. Do I feel like she just acted in fear for her life, which sadly ended with the death of Fÿrr? Yes. Concerning the sentencing, as we don't really have a DOC really right now, or ability to 5150 someone, and the fact that this incident happened because she was stuck in prison, I feel like this is just going to be a cycle of this issue happening again and again. And when is it going to stop? Are we just going to wait for the next serial killer to go into prison and manipulate another person just to charge them for murder when they're just scared for their lives? I would consider, if you do push life, at least push it with life with parole. So she doesn't have to be in the same place where she has been attacked and manipulated. She's not someone of sound mind, but she can be with the proper medication and care. And I feel that just leaving her in prison to rot is not going to benefit anyone, least of all her. So I please implore you to consider that, so we don't have to have another instance of, oh, we have someone who has issues stuck in the prison with a serial killer. I wonder what will happen then. This was a question I brought up many times when Fÿrr was sentenced into Bolingbrook and released with Gen Pop. This is the unfortunate circumstances of what happens. And I'm just afraid it's just going to repeat over and over again if this is the verdicts that are laid out. Thank you.
Can I? Are you going up?
Before I allow you to speak, Ms. Smith, I'm going to say that if there was a verdict that I drop it down to, it wouldn't have been involuntary manslaughter. It would have been voluntary manslaughter here. I'm going to tell you why.
And I said manslaughter. I didn't specify which one. I said either voluntary or voluntary, just to drop it down from there, not the straight up murder.
Okay. I've heard multiple times the word involuntary, not the word voluntary. So if there was the charge to be dropped to, it would likely be voluntary manslaughter. However, why that in this case it is murder, and it will probably be in my written verdict as well. Whether or not Ms. Smith had a clear intent to kill Ms. Phosphøphÿllite, the actions that she took were meant to seriously injure an individual. In this case, Ms. Phosphøphÿllite. Now, they ended up dying as a result of her actions, and she had time to think about it. I believe that in this case, it's a heat of passion, killing of any kind, and do it in a fit of rage. It was reckless, it was depraved, and there were additional actions that she took afterwards that are even more.
Also, in my closing, I did say, is it can prove without reasonable doubt that this was premeditated murder and not manslaughter, whether voluntary or involuntary.
Which is why my verdict was murder in the second, not murder in the first. That's all I'm going to leave it at for now. If anyone else wishes to speak, you may do so. I'll let Ms. Smith go last.
No, what's the difference? Isn't that the same fucking thing?
First degree is you meant to kill someone. The second is like, well,
That is very short.
but you didn't really have bad intent.
All right. Essentially, what I'm going to do is I'm going to advocate for a rehabilitation for this defendant. I understand the facts and circumstances of this case. I understand that this defendant has taken a life. But there's also plenty of facts and circumstances that have presented themselves to say that this person is capable of rehabilitation if seen after and guided through that process. I do believe that to put this individual in life in prison simply because there is a mental component behind that is unjust, when we have had defendants come through our courts that have willingly got into gunfights, shootouts, stabbings, and taken the lives of other individuals in our state who were more cherished and received a lesser sentence. Yep. That's what I got.
Any other members of the public that wish to speak?
I'll say a few words. You've heard my arguments in a professional capacity for why the death penalty should apply, and I'm going to offer additional input regardless of where you go. I think this is worthy of consideration. Ms. Smith, as I alluded to, has prevented justice, has prevented the will of the people, and has directly aided Fÿrr Phosphøphÿllite in continuing their desired acts of performative violence, and attention-seeking behavior. I was there for Fyrr's sentencing, and the pain that I heard from the people all over the state, but especially in this community in Polito, was palpable in that room. And part of what they were advocating for was a anonymous, private, unadvertised death for Ms. Phosphøphylite. And she was able to convince Ms. Smith to usurp that end and deny those people the justice that they rightly deserved. I deeply considered not mentioning the name of the victim at all during my arguments today. For that very reason, decided against it for expediency, but that did come into consideration for me. Anyway, Miss Smith, willingly aided Fÿrr in those ends, and I think that should weigh as a part of your decision. Thank you.
If there's nobody else, Ms. Smith, you may step forwards and say your piece.
Well, I'm sorry if this takes long. I know everyone wants to go home to their family and whatever. But I just wanted to begin mentioning that everyone who has spoken up to try to say that I did this bad things, etc., etc., always accused me, saying that I had choice and that I willingly did it. What people failed to see, and that has been presented in the court case, is that I had no choice. She was actively trying to kill me, threatening me for my life. She was my motherly figure, someone I looked up to, someone I cared for. I wouldn't want to get rid of someone just because I feel like it. I never wanted to kill anyone. I'm not that kind of person. People say that, you know, I should maybe be in jail or sentenced to death or whatever. But in reality, I've been thriving and doing much better out here. I followed my bail conditions. I never went to humane labs despite people accusing me of doing it during my bail time. I did community service with the search and rescue team. Today I spent probably about 4 hours just helping them, helping other people. In my free time I go around to the glad animals, take care of them, and I happily live in a halfway home. I haven't committed crimes since. I found what a safe place is, with Officer Dallas, my bail officer, being there for me. I wouldn't be able to strive as much in prison than I can out here. In prison, I would never be able to learn how to effectively communicate with people, or how to start taking care of animals, learning to count, etc. As stupid as it sounds and people want to laugh at me, I didn't know how to count or read or write. I'm slowly learning it, and people out here are helping me. I was able to get a job. I've been able to progress my life into something better than it was. Despite problems that people say I have, I work hard on improving. I kept running away from jail because I was scared. As much as it's not an excuse to commit a crime, the place wasn't for me. I felt entrapped. I felt isolated, and it wasn't the right place for me. When the courts gave me the opportunity to have a bail hearing, I was being honest. I didn't make any arguments. I was simply being honest and telling them the truth about myself. And they granted me that bail. I was forever thankful seeing Miss J pay for it. And here I am, still doing my best, striving in the world, being my bestest self. I personally don't think I should stay in jail. As much as it's bold coming from me, I'm simply a better person out here. After being given some sort of help from Miss Dallas and other people. If it wasn't for them, I would probably be dead next to a bin because I wouldn't be able to take care of myself. And here I am, standing here proudly speaking about all of this. I deserve to be free. If I get the help I need. I don't refuse the help people give me, except from one person, but that's not about this conversation. I firmly believe that from what I heard, allowing me to have perhaps either parole for the rest of my life or whatever would be much better than me being locked in four walls. As out here I can do better than I can do in there. Thank you.
You did good.
Very good.
It was hard.
Don't worry. We can still
Thank
try
you,
appeal
everybody, for
afterwards.
your
Just
time.
remember that. And I'll have a good lawyer
I
helping
don't
you
know, like
too.
reading and math
We'll
and
have a
stuff
whole
is
crack
pretty
Ms.
team.
Smith, I'm going to ask you to step forward real quick. So today I'm considering doing something unique in the state, something that I don't believe has been done before in terms of someone who committed such a serious offense. Now, this is something that's unique and something that may have never happened again. This is something that I'm doing as part of my powers as a justice of the courts of the state. Now, you are still convicted of the crime of murder. However, something that people tend to forget is the Department of Corrections doesn't end at the word corrections. It's the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Now, it is the intent of people, the system, the justice system, that we give a chance to people to rehabilitate, give people a chance to do better, become better people. Now, that has happened in some cases and not necessarily in others. I've heard arguments for life, whether it's with or without parole. I've heard arguments for the death penalty, which I will tell you right now is not going to happen. What is going to happen today? Now, I'm not going to set the terms fully today, and I'm going to do this after discussion with certain professionals from SAMA, as well as professionals from whatever comes out of today's discussion with the Department of Corrections. However, I'm going to suspend your sentence. What that means today is that I'm not going to send you to jail, but you're going to be on indefinite parole. Now, that has a conditioning of ending should SAMA decide or determine that you are an individual that doesn't require constant supervision or are someone that can work in society without harming people. Now, if you do commit a crime, if you bite anybody else, you will go to jail. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, I do not see a reason to send someone for life in prison at the current time when there is no DOC available. While that situation may be changing in the near future, I do not believe that you are an individual that is likely to commit another murder. I don't believe that you are someone that's going to intentionally harm someone else. But like I said, you understand the risks that are involved here. I want you to stay out of legal trouble. No new arrests, no charges. Ensure that you're checking in with somebody at either the hospital or the DOC that might, whatever comes of that, or an officer that you may trust. I want you to be attending counseling and treatment with a professional, whether that's from SAMA or a counselor that is contracted with SAMA. You will be issued a fine of $20,000. I will not be allowing community service to knock that down. I want you to be able to, at least in the first, I would say in the first 2 hours a week will not count towards that fine. I want you to do at least a minimum of 2 hours of community service per week as part of your probation for the suspended sentence. Giving you the second chance because I believe that you can rehabilitate. I don't believe that you are going to commit another murder. I don't believe you intend to harm people. I do believe that you can be helped. I do believe that you can do better. do have concerns that your support system hasn't been helping you so far. But I have heard from people that are your support system directly. Very clear that people care about you. That includes your attorney. I do believe that Counselor Delicatessen cares about what happens to you. I do believe that she'll be there for you if you need something. Understand that you are still a convicted murderer in this matter. It will affect your future employment, your future ability to interact with government services. This is a difficult decision for me to make, but it's a unique decision based on the situation that has occurred, based on what's occurring in the state. Do you understand the things that I've told you today, Ms. Smith?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So understand that you will be remanded to Bolingbroke Penitentiary should you commit another crime for a life sentence, with the possibility of parole after an additional 30 years. So don't commit another crime. Don't do it. I don't want to see you back
Your
here.
Honor.
I don't want to see you in my courtroom again. I don't want to see you in any courtroom again. I'm going to work with the DA's office as well as SAMA and DOC to ensure that you have good conditions for this. But understand that the basis of this, no more crime. I don't want to see it. Not until Sama says that you're okay, you can function. I don't think that sending you to prison is going to help you. In fact, I think it might make it worse.
Thank you.
Do anything, even something very minor. You're going back to prison. I keep having to reiterate that. And I need you to understand that. I'm not going to care about a little bit of speeding, running a red light, but don't run from the cops. Don't run from the police. If they check up on you, listen to them. Understand you must follow lawful orders. Don't carry any weapons unless it's I don't know, you're going golfing as a golf club. Certain obvious exceptions will apply. Before I finalize this, are there any comments from the state that you wish to make, Ms. Irons?
No, not at this time. Thank you, Your Honor.
Lieutenant, you appear to have walked forward. Anything
Yeah,
that you'd like to say?
Just a question.
Sure.
Can you verify length of sentence if she does do a crime? What it would be?
Life sentence, possibility of parole after 30 years. This is a suspended sentence. This is what she would normally be getting if DOC was actively available and in a state that she could be visited in prison by psychiatric care. Right now, I can't guarantee that. There's no guarantee of any of that being able to happen, even though I understand that there is a conversation happening. That's not a definitive. That's not going to be healthy for her. That's not going to be healthy for anybody in that situation.
Is a
Choosing a
wiretap going to
very
be part of the
unique
conditions?
I'm not going to give a wiretap at this time unless there's further reasoning to give it. Is there any reason why I should?
I mean, the wiretap we have now has proven when she has said in which she's not going to check in because she's hiding instead. I don't know if if she's avoiding things, doing things she knows she isn't supposed to do. It's gonna kind of help prevent that, maybe. I don't know.
I'm gonna give her a little. Ms. Smith, I'm gonna give you a little leeway on that, okay? Purely because you understand that if you avoid checking in with anybody, you are gonna go back to prison. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I knew that since the start. What people don't understand is that day, I ended up in ICU. And I was knocked out cold till about yesterday morning.
Yes, it was the day before
And I made
that.
sure to
We
check
talked
out.
about that.
Okay. Just make sure that you're sending, even if no one answers, send a 311 saying that you were out and about. Is that acceptable to everybody?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes,
Just
Your
send a
Honor.
311. Even if no one answers, you have it on your phone. Now, I'm not going to approve a wiretap, but I may, if you, down the line, if I have reasoning to, you may get a subpoena, your records may be subpoenaed. If they give me a reason to think that you may have committed a crime, more than likely it will be signed off. If they give me a reason to believe that you aren't checking in when you're around, more than likely it will be signed off for confirmation. Now understand that 311 records can be subpoenaed at will by the police. So if you don't check in and you're around, we'll know.
Your Honor, for clarification, would we be talking about no misdemeanors or felonies? Infractions would be allowed?
Infractions are allowed. I'm not going to send her to jail for running a red light. I
Understood.
want to see any misdemeanors or felonies. Again, the full conditions of the suspension, aside from the generally standard parole conditions, are going to be worked out by myself, and I'm going to have a conversation with other department leadership as to any conditions that may need to be imposed on Ms. Smith. But for now, I think you understand generally, as a framework, go to therapy. Do not commit crime. Check in every day. No weapons, unless it's something like you're going golfing. That understood by everybody?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I hope that this is a satisfactory solution for everyone. It is not the ideal solution with DOC in its current state. However, if and when someone determines that you are a capable member of society, you have a chance of having your parole lifted, and you will avoid going to jail. And keep working towards your recovery. Like I said, I don't want to see you back in the courtroom.
Yes,
Full
Your Honor.
written verdict will be up within the next 24 hours. In the meantime, if there's any questions, contact me directly. The police can contact me directly at any time. I will always have my phone. If I don't answer, it's probably because I'm asleep. Miss Smith, were you eating the pumpkin?
No, my Dr. Pumpkin was just laying here.
So I didn't see you chewing on the pumpkin earlier?
Well, I was hungry.
What did
Cleaned
I
up.
say at the beginning?
I cleaned up. Okay.
You cleaned up? You didn't make a...
Yep. Nope, perfectly clean.
Mr. Starr, is there any mess over there?
No, no mess.
Okay, good. All right, court's adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for your time and your patience.
At least we make sure you're not going to be in prison, all right?
Oh my god! Wow. Can you update her wiretap with the ending date?
Get me out of here.
Hello? Hey, I was wondering if I could get a ride from Polito back to the city, Infinity Apartments.
Yeah, what part in Polito?
It's near the courthouse place.
Okay, yeah, I'll be in the few. I'm in the city, so it's gonna take me a minute.
Yeah, okay, no worries.
Bye.
Bye.
The malicious prosecution claim is very ill-founded, considering there was PC and a guilty plea.
Taxi.
Yep, that's for me.
That's what I motioned to dismiss on. There was PC and he pled guilty to it.
All right, where are we going?
Infinity Apartments. Do you need me to
do you
mark it for
mind?
you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. Thank. Thank you. This is why I'm doing taxi. I'm trying to learn the state.
Yeah, I still don't know my way around that well either. I've only been here a couple months.
Well, it's my first time in this city, so.
Oh, really? Well, welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
How are you finding it so far?
It's nice. Pros and cons, just like everything.
I mean, doing taxi is a good way to get around and meet people. I was trying to do it for a little bit.
Yeah. It beats doing crime, you know?
Sure.
Well, a little bit of speeding. And illegal overtaking.
Yeah, I've still been trying to avoid speeding and all that, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just too paranoid about it. Seems like a lot of people here don't care too much about the road rules. Oh, no, it's fine. Oh, that does remind me to put my seatbelt on there.
Yep. Always buckle up. I always find that people want to get to their destination as fast as possible.
Yeah, fast is good. I do need to take a nap. I was in this court case, just observing, but yeah, it went for hours and hours.
Oh my.
I probably should have expected it to be a long case because it was for a murder trial. But yeah, it still went on longer than I expected. I guess part of it is they did all the sentencing and deliberations all at the same time as well. So that probably stretched it out a bit.
Yeah. Are you a lawyer?
No, I work with DOC, like at the prison. Although technically the prison's kind of shut down at the moment, temporarily.
Yeah.
So haven't been doing that yet. No, I was just interested in the case because the defendant was one of the inmates that I've worked with. So I kind of wanted to know what would happen, like if she would be back in the prison or... They were actually trying to go for the death penalty, which seemed a bit of a stretch to me for this one. So, but she ended up getting a suspended sentence, actually.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was a lot of extenuating circumstances, I guess, like, mental health issues, and plus the DOC being stood down, it's kind of hard for anyone to look after her while she's in the prison. Yeah, I think I'm kind of relieved, to be honest, that she was not going to be back in prison right away. She's pretty hard to handle.
Oh, God.
Although maybe her being out in the general public isn't that great either, but who knows, maybe she can get the medical help she needs and get sorted out.
Well, I've been in the city for about 5 months now, and I can gladly say I have not been to prison.
Okay, that's good. I've been in there, but just to work in it.
Yeah. I actually, surprisingly, don't even have a speeding ticket.
Yeah, I don't have any speeding tickets yet either. Probably a matter of time though, it's hard to always stay on top of that. Do you do other stuff besides taxi at the moment?
No. I've been, playing with the idea of possibly doing mechanic, but I'm not sure.
I actually applied for a job at Hayes as well to see if I could do that, but yeah, I'm still waiting to hear back.
I mean, I've been a mechanic pretty much my whole life, so I don't know if I want to go back to that.
Yeah, how should I pay you? Can I give you something with your state ID?
However you want to pay me, whatever you
Yeah,
want to pay
state
me.
ID is
I'm not
good.
picky. Alrighty, 19459.
19459?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, no worries. Yeah, I'll send you a tip then. Right, thanks for the ride.
Yes, ma'am. Have a good day.
You too.